Hello, and welcome to the Iron Lord Podcast, episode number 16. And this is part of the E3 conference prediction series. And we've got some special guests in the building. I'm very excited about this show. We got some lords in here that we can't wait to introduce. So we're going to start off with a lord that was introduced to you from my man, Lord Addict. And he has been killing these PlayStation streets. He's a member of the Council Podcast, Gamers That Play Games. He does online fighting tournaments with the Online Arcade, and also a proud member of the What's Up PlayStation.com Nation. Introducing Boogie Down's own Lord Bari is in the building. How we doing, Lord Bari?
Yo, what is good, guys? YouTube, everybody that's watching, I definitely appreciate the invite. I definitely appreciate this intro. Man, I'm listening to this intro. I'm cheesing right now. I'm feeling good about myself. After that, man. But yo, much love to everybody here, man. I appreciate it, man, and I can't wait to start and make and create. Matter of fact, this movie we about to do. So we about to talk about this PlayStation E3, and trust me, PlayStation will create a movie.
Woo! That's what that's the energy I need. Great to have you, Lord Bari. Definitely. And of course, we've got a friend of the round table, a round table regular, but I don't actually give him the credit that he deserves. This is a man that has a Lord that's actually supported us from the very beginning, and he's out here killing these Destiny 2 streets. And as well as that, a proud new Twitch affiliate member. I want to congratulate the man, the myth, the Nightfall soloist, my man, Lord Ebontis. Lord Ebontis, how are we doing, sir?
I don't know how to follow that. So, like yours, yeah, bar way too high, so bring that one down a little bit. But I'm doing good. No, I'm doing
nice.
It's like just kind of getting more on Twitch this year, and I think the affiliates are getting a little more reasonable, but that was still pretty awesome to see, since I feel like I hadn't even been doing it as much as I feel like was deserved. But it's pretty cool, and yeah, pretty hyped for next week and E3 coming up, and just we're kind of in that little bit of a lull. Like the start of the year was amazing, and now we've kind of had that little bit of a downtime. So waiting to see what E3 brings, and Destiny 2 has me jumping out of my chair. So cannot wait.
Oh yeah, we are hype. And again, once again, congratulations on the Twitch affiliation. Proud of you. I watch those vids. You're doing your thing out there with those Nightfalls and all the other content you do. So it's always good to.
I think people enjoy the Twitch piece of it because they can see the struggles in between the videos, because they don't always go perfectly, and some people are like, oh, this is what it's really like. I was like, yeah, it's not always perfect.
Exactly. And of course, nice. And of course, we have the usual suspects at the round table. My man, the co-host with the co-most, the non-aggro gamer, Lord Addict. How we doing, sir?
What's up, you guys?
Wait, did you just say non-aggro?
Yes, he's non-aggro.
He's non-aggro.
You like the sarcasm? You like the sarcasm?
I never questioned his
and he's
logic.
sticking to that.
I never question it. So, who am I to question, Lord Cognito's words? But yeah, just get on to this Sony conference.
Yeah, man. We got a lot to talk about. We'll get there. And of course, I can no longer call him the incognito Lord. This man has made himself publicly available, our tech general, precise Lord, sovereign, showing the public with that Twitter account. He's finally made one, y'all.
Hit me up, Lord Sav ILP. I will answer you at some point.
I gotta come with a new intro for you. Like,
I know.
You love the incognito now. That was the inside joke.
I'm still stepping out of the dark still. I go back in the cloud, in the Illuminati cloud after every podcast.
Illuminati no longer confirmed. And of course, the man who displays nothing but the premium experience, the excess gamer.
Ooh.
Beloved. Oh, Lord King is in the building. What's going on, Lord King? How are we doing today?
What's going on, everybody? I'm having a great time. Right now is a great time in gaming. I have a couple of PlayStation games that I definitely want to get going. Horizon Zero Dawn, and my Nintendo. I'm in my Nintendo love. I got my throwback Nintendo. I picked up my mini, so the family is jumping in, getting a chance. You know, the kids is getting a chance to see the old arcade games that Daddy was playing with the bad jump buttons. And and a messed up sound. They like, woo, Daddy, this is fantastic. And they see my gaming skill because they looking at me like, whoa, this is crazy. And you know. And we play a Switch, so we have, you know, the 4-player Switch going on with the rotation on the 5th player. So it is fantastic right now. Actually, I'm really enjoying video games right now.
Yeah, man, it's a good time. It's a good time for some great games. And of course, it is Lord Cognito here. And like I said, I'm very excited about this show. So we're going to go do real quick before we jump in. Obviously, we know Sony is the topic of the day, but I just wanted to get all the lords as far as what have they been playing. So we'll start with Lord Bari. What have you been playing recently? What's been taking up your time? I see you out there destroying the Street Fighter right now. Those streams are beastie.
Oh, yeah, man. I was just getting bodied in Street Fighter the other day because, you know, Ed is a new character that they just revealed. So his inputs are much different than a traditional Street Fighter character where it's not like a motion or a charge. It's more like a button input. And so like my muscle memory is I'm more of a motion player. So I got to like relearn this character with these button input kind of stuff. But he's pretty good though. But I'm going to learn him. He's fun. I'm going to learn him though. But it was a struggle getting to learn him. But just now, I just completed a Batman Telltale series. I know it took a while, but I just completed that. I'm playing Dragon Quest Heroes 2. You know.
I love that game.
I'm a huge Dragon Quest fan, and I also been playing like Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
Kingdom Hearts 2. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a busy week. Oh, we just had a Chaos Code tournament yesterday. So yeah, was playing that Chaos Code, a little anime fighting game. Big shout out to everybody that came through. Tenryo, he won the tournament. This guy is a monster. If you want to go check that out, go check it out. My man Persona channel. It was a crazy tournament. Like people was definitely came through, and it was definitely fun to be a part of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. What I'm playing, man. I kept it light this week. It's too busy. That's light for me, man. You know, Mother's Day, got my mom's birthday. You know what I mean? That's stuff during the
Happy Mother's Day.
man. Oh, jury duty. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, man, that's good, man. That's good stuff. So, Lord Ebontis, what have you been playing?
Oh, well, you know, Destiny's always going to be in there even until it's probably up until Destiny 2. That was just going to happen. Part of my channel. So doing the videos and knocking that stuff out. Thank God this Nightfall was not as bad as last week. I was going to pull my hair out last week. Last week was rough. Brutal.
Yeah, it was rough.
That was painful. But finally knocked it out. So
Nice.
outside of that, just still dabbling a little bit with at some point I still got to finish Neo and Horizon. I kind of got pulled away once Age of Triumph came out, and then Zelda. So between those 3 or 4, still just kind of dabbling between those. So not too much anything crazy, kind of just in that world of I need to finish the games I have before I buy anything else.
Yeah, I know that struggle. I know that struggle very well. Lord Soft, what have we been playing?
Mostly Switch stuff. I've been playing, trying to get a handle on the NBA Playgrounds controls because I went in with the expectation that it was just kind of a spiritual successor to NBA Jam, and it's not quite that. At first, it comes off like it's not that great, but you have to put in the time, and you realize that it has its own little quirks and nuances in terms of like, you know, release for jump shots and for dunks and stuff like that. So it's not quite NBA Jam. But it's definitely good, but it takes some getting used to. So I've been messing with that. I downloaded one of my favorite fighting games of all time for the Switch, the Mark of the Wolves, Garou, Mark of the Wolves.
Okay.
Amazing fighting game. That is
Rock Howard in the building. Okay.
Yes, Rock Howard in the building. Yes, sir. That is again, I'm playing it mostly on the TV because the left Joy-Con isn't the best for playing on the go, so you got to play with your with your Pro controller. So I've been doing that, and I'm also gotten back to Horizon Zero Dawn. So trying to get through that.
You still having problems with your left Joy-Con?
No problems with it per se. It's just not the best for a fighting game. So if I'm playing if I'm playing it in handheld mode, it's really like, unless I take my Pro controller with me, but otherwise.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Lord Attic, what have you been playing, sir?
Hitman, that's all.
Hitman.
He's trying to get it before the juices run out.
No, my
newly
Xbox broke down, so I can only play on my brother's Xbox, and he shares the digital library with a completely other person. And out of all the games that individual had, Hitman was the only game I ever just really wanted to play. So I've been playing that, waiting for Microsoft to get their customer service in order.
Isn't that ironic?
Good looking.
Isn't that ironic that your Xbox breaks down, they cancel Hitman, and that's the only game you can play? I'm just like, that is like forcing people to say that you should have brought this game.
They separated from Square Enix. Well, actually, it's not even that ironic. I didn't pay for Hitman, so. But they separated from IO and what is it? IO or
IO?
They separated from IO, and IO they maintain the IP. So they did say season 2 is in development.
Yeah. I tweeted that out.
Nice. And Lord King, what have we been playing?
Well, like I said, I've been playing the Nintendo Mini right now, and I have a couple of things. Like I ordered 3 more of them. So, one for each kid, so my kids can actually get a foundation in actual real gaming and know how to, get their timing down and stuff like that, and don't get caught up in graphics and get caught up in gameplay. But what I wanted, because I hear you guys, you're live streaming and you're like, yo, I'm live streaming this. I would like to live stream Donkey Kong Jr. I would like to live stream Donkey Kong Jr. so you can see how nice I am and the skills that's on display when I'm playing Donkey Kong 1 or when I'm playing Ice Climber. It's just so much fun with that mini. It sucks that, it's discontinued. It really sucks. I really wish they could have got it into all the people's hands that really want it, because I think they could have sold probably 10, 15 million of them, but I know it would have cut into their profits and the stuff that they wanted to do with the Switch and with this Super NES Mini that's going to drop on Christmas. I want to know if they're going to do a GameCube Mini. I don't know.
We'll see.
NES is going to be the best.
Yeah, everyone loves that GameCube. Everyone loves that GameCube. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's so surprised that they walked away from that money on the table, by discontinuing. But yeah, I hear you. What I mean, I saw the pictures. Looks good. And of course, me personally, I've been kind of doing what Lord Sovereign's doing. It's been a big Switch week for me. I got NBA Playgrounds on the Switch, and like Lord Sovereign said, the learning curve is definitely higher. This ain't NBA Jam. You got to learn. But I've had fun with it. I've been unlocking packs and getting players. I got classic like Patrick Ewing and Willis Reed and all these other guys. I think my squad right now is I got old school Del Curry, and I just unlocked Shaq. And just for the record, Shaq is OP. Shaq is very OP. He's the only character that has his own voiceover. After every dunk, he's celebrating, tweet me, in your face. Like he's actually has vocals. He's the only character.
Dunking from half court.
It's ridiculous. So shout out to Saber Interactive, those guys in that exclusivity with the Shaq vocals. But yeah, I'm doing that, and then I just got back into Zelda. Shout out to Lord Swat. He put me on to some things with the Hinoxes, those big sleeping things. I used to avoid them, and
oh no, you need to beat them.
That was back in my 3 heart days. With 3 heart days, you just gotta run, man. Lord Ebontis knows you can't. You gotta pick your battles wisely. So I've been on like a Hinox killing spree right now. I've been going back to all the places that they terrorized me on the map and just doing stuff. So
you can sneak up on them though, right? You can sneak up on him and walk onto his hand and his belly. My
new thing is I'll put on the ninja outfit and I'll steam on them from a mountain, and then I'll glide down onto their chests, rob them, and then I'm savage. It's just too much fun.
You could pause them, right? You could pause them in mid-fight.
Yeah, if you upgrade the Stasis ability.
Stasis, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I pause them when they sleep. I sneak up on them, start to beat the crap out of them. Then I pause them. Then I beat the crap out of them some more. Then I run around them, drop some bombs on them. Then I pause them again.
That's a big help with the Lionels too. Big help with the Lionels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, it's been fun. So it's been a big Switch week and Mario Kart during the week with shout out to Laura Queno, shout out to Lord Kaibatsu. We've been testing it out every time I get a chance at work over Wi-Fi. We sneak in a couple of races, so that's been fun.
Yeah, I watched y'all.
I ain't been in any of these games yet.
Yeah, well, you and Lord Kaibatsu got the rivalry, but that's another story.
Man, it's been a while since I played, but I gotta get in some of that Mario Kart action.
Oh, you got to get down, Ebon. It is so much fun. It is the ultimate party game. Ultimate. Shout out to Lord Ruler in chat. But we're going to start this off, and we got a lot of things going. It's going to be a big show. So, again, this is the E3 prediction series. And, of course, I said we got Lord Bari, Lord Ebontis, because we wanted that Sony feel. We wanted the true, the people who support the brand also to get in here and to give their feel. So we're going to start it off. We're going to get into, okay, what do we think Sony will present at this year's E3? Also, what do we personally want? So, Lord Bari, the floor is yours. I'm going to give it to you first. You are our guest at the round table. What do you think Sony's cooking up, and what do you personally want?
He totally just disregarded you as a guest, Ebontis.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just one of the usual guys now. It's all good.
He's part of the family. Ebontis isn't that weird thing. He's family. But let's start off with you, Lil Bari. What are you feeling?
Can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Now we got you.
There we go. Sometimes, Apple, they don't want to work with the mics and stuff. My bad. But something I want them to do or think they're going to do, I do think that they're going to revitalize an old IP. And I think it's going to be SOCOM. That's my biggest prediction. And I know it's crazy, but I just feel like that's coming. There's a lot of chatter going on in the PlayStation Nation, and I do think they're going to revitalize something, and I think it's going to be SOCOM. That's just my crazy prediction. But I do think we're going to see plenty of the first party games that were shown that we didn't really see any gameplay of, but we're going to see them now, like Spider-Man. We've seen some gameplay days gone, but I feel like when they show those games, you're going to get like a more concrete time of release. With that, okay. I do personally think that these games are coming out 2017, but a lot of people are going to doubt me on that. But I know the doubt is coming.
What's funny is the only thing I'm laughing at is you said concrete release date with Sony, and I mean that's like an oxymoron. But
I mean Sony definitely learned their lessons with giving out release windows and not living up to it. So that's why that last E3 they didn't really announce anything like that. But I doubt any of those games were, what everybody's predicting 2018 and 2019. The only game I really think that's going to be out that long is Death Stranding. That's going to be out that long. Okay. Whereas it's possibly 2019 or something like that.
You think there's going to be gameplay on Death Stranded this year?
I think it's going to be gameplay. They're going to have some type of vertical slice. I don't know if it's going to be like a God of War or Horizon type of gameplay, but you're going to see some type of aspects of how the game is going to be played from there. But I do think we're going to see a lot of first party stuff, but they're going to tackle the third party because they do have a lot of deals and stuff there. But I'm going off of the words of Shuhei. Shuhei definitely said that this is the year for the first party studios. So that's why I'm saying that we're definitely going to see Days Gone. We're going to see Spider-Man, God of War, Gran Turismo 2017. And I know people gonna doubt me. I've said crazy things like this before, and a lot of people are, you don't know what the hell you talking about. And
next thing is this guy's gonna start saying Scalebound's coming out for PlayStation this year.
Listen, all I say is bless your heart.
Based off the words that Shuhei is going from, that's the reason why I'm saying I'm going off of his word. Because before 2016 was over, he said that PlayStation 2016 was a year of hardware because they did drop a lot of hardware. But he said this year is going to be the year of the game. So there's going to be a lot of games from the first party studios coming. And we already
I would
what
think
happened this first half of the year.
I do think God of War would be a really good counter for Scorpio because that's a
not
very
coming.
iconic
It's not
franchise.
coming. It's not coming. It's not coming.
It looked really good. Days Gone looked really good last year. I was very impressed. So, Lord LeBron, you figuring now you saying the release date? You figuring those release dates are going to drop this year? And if you do think they're dropping this year, like what window would you think they would drop?
Well, I think Spider-Man is probably going to drop like late summer because like you got to capitalize on the hype of the movie. I think
the movie
that they would release it like the year after because you're definitely going to miss some potential sales for it. I know Spider-Man is a huge iconic character, but just having it go coincide with the movie, it don't have to be day and date. It could be like a month after or whatever. I think that would definitely help capitalize on sales with that. I do think that Days Gone is going to be 2017. That's going to be probably summertime. And I have a strong source on that one saying that God of War is the only one that I have like doubts with 2017, but I just feel like that would be just a much smarter move just to mitigate any hardware hype. And plus you gotta break that notion that PlayStation is not dropping any games, in the holiday season. Everybody keeps saying that stuff, but if you really look at it, I'm not saying that it's first party, but if you really look at the games, if you're looking at it from an objective standpoint, because everybody, if I list off a game, people are going to, I don't like that. We're not going to count that as exclusive, but it is. You know what I mean? PlayStation has definitely dropped more exclusives during the holiday season than Microsoft. It's just those games people don't look up like, oh, it's not big or whatever like that. But there's a lot of Japanese games that came out in the holiday season. But I do think
Microsoft shouldn't drop games in the holiday either.
I do think that they need to drop God of War there just to break that mold that everybody thinks that stuff like you
not coming
there. But that one is one I'm more finick. Like I'm kind of like that one but I do think it will come. But Gran Turismo might be close. Probably right after E3 or something like that. But
now, Lil Bar, let me ask you a specific question. Like, what personally are you excited for? Like, what game, if they come out on that stage and they unveil it, or a game that they either previously talked about before, or a new IP, what would drive you crazy to be like, okay, mic down, Sony's won it?
Oh yeah, there's a few stuff. For me,
talk to me.
I'm really excited for Ni no Kuni 2. If they show that with some gameplay, show more stuff, I'm gonna lose it a little bit. Final Fantasy the remake.
Oh, now see that now you messing with my heart, Lil Bar. Don't you say that?
They show a little bit more gameplay of that.
The 7. Now you talking about the 7, the one that's the part of the series, right? That they're gonna break up. The original classic Sony one, right? The Cloud and all that.
Yeah, if they show that would be crazy. And I said SOCOM, but I really want them to bring back Resistance. I'm a huge fan of Resistance, and
yes, sir.
I would lose it. I would definitely lose it with that.
Nice.
But yeah, man, I mean, we already know a lot of games that's coming to PlayStation, like Dragon Quest and all that stuff, 11. But it's just them showing a little bit more for talking about it. I think that would get me excited because there's not too many surprises for me and Sony. They might drop a surprise, but the stuff that they're showing already in different aspects, like different shows, like PlayStation Experience or whatever. Yeah. Those things I just want to see a little more of, man. I'll be happy with that. It's just mad games. I don't even want to buy no games right now, but I got too much, but I'm just excited, man.
I hear you. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big one, man. Lord Ebontis, I want to get you in on this.
Yeah.
What are you thinking Sony will do? What do you personally want? Sony
he wants them to go up there and talk about Destiny for an hour and a half, right?
Hey, no. Bungie will take care of that. Bungie will have us covered, believe me. So I'm sure they'll have some showing or some little blip or some little hidden feature or something like that. It's going to be part of it. But no, what I'm actually looking forward to is see what we hear about Last of Us 2.
Ooh, that's a loaded gun they got.
Like that one is basically just like
that is a rocket launcher they got. It's not no loaded gun.
The first, I don't know. When I sat down with that game the first time, played the first 10 minutes of that game, I was just like, like just the emotion I took in the first 10 minutes, and you're not even fighting zombies. Just I was like, damn. And if they can get even close to that again, I'm gonna be pretty impressed. So I mean, Last of Us 2 would be huge. I mean, I think you mentioned most of the games. Kind of looking through here, Red Dead Redemption 2. I know these aren't PlayStation specific, but I know that one's going to be a big one for the fall as well. But yeah, you were saying Final Fantasy 7. That's what I'm curious about, man.
Yeah,
Definitely know what they're going to do with that.
I know I might get jumped on for this, but I would prefer to see a Kingdom Hearts 3 release date over a Final Fantasy 7.
I would agree with that, Lord Attic, only from the standpoint that we know that Final Fantasy is coming, right?
Yeah.
Definitively. Yeah. So yeah, I would agree if they said something like what Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
I do have a question with, The Last of Us having such an iconic name from the first installment of the franchise. Do you think it's going to be really, really hard for the second one to live up to the first one's name?
For what? Last of Us? Absolutely.
Yeah. And wasn't there an argument that technically it could have ended with the first? And then
basically it's like the question of like, where do you go with the story? Because they wrapped it up pretty dang tight, just to say, I mean, there was some animosity between the two, probably unspoken, but in general, yeah, you could have left it untouched and it would have been fine completely by itself. So
I think there's many ways they can go with the story. I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions in The Last of Us.
Well, what they're talking about is it's not really going to be an extension of that same story, or it's going to be another person's aspect of it inside the world of The Last of Us. So that's basically it. It's not going to be a direct extension of it, because that was a self-contained story that had a beginning, middle, climax, and end, and it was really good. And the DLC to it was really good. So
absolutely. Not one that I'm like, craving for, but a nice little joke in there. We're all pumped for like Knack too, right? Gotta have that.
It is actually good.
I played the first one actually, just because it was like there wasn't a whole lot when it came out, so I was curious. And the idea behind it for a platform, like for just kind of a little action platformer, is kind of fun, but it's just way too narrow. Like if you had more control of the guy, it could be kind of fun, but we'll see. And then I was looking through a list here as well. Do you guys remember that preview they did a couple years ago? It was for Detroit Becoming Human.
Yes, I want to see that. I want to play that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That looked good. That was
the one where like every choice matters, or whatever you do, depending on what you find in there.
They showed the little the tree of all the choice and stuff, and it kept zooming more and more out, and I'm like, yo.
Yeah. So that one, I mean, just one of those games you could dive deep in, hopefully a lot of replay value, things like that. But I mean, they've got at least some stuff on the table that we've seen before, for sure. I don't know, quite a bit upcoming, honestly. So, but I mean, my biggest one would be, I want to get my hands on Last of Us 2, and then of course, even before that, yeah, mine's Destiny 2. So even before E3, that's going to be mine. So the one that I really want, and I'm going to get it anyway. I don't have any I'll think on it if I come up with one that would be a shocker, I guess.
Okay. I feel you. All right, Lawrence, what do we got? Who wants to jump in for the Sony
I guess I'll
prediction?
go first.
Go for it, Lord Attic.
Part of me feels like they're going to go out there and drop bombs, show all these first-party titles. I don't think they're going to announce a lot of newer IPs, if any, because like with these PSXs, like they can show that for later after all the hype for all these AAA titles come down. But then another part of me is like, with Sony, it's kind of unpredictable. I don't think what would they say, PS5 announcement? I don't think none of that's happening. A Pro Slim's not going to happen.
Yeah. I want to also, not to cut you, Lord Attic, I want to bring that to Lord Ebontis, Lord Bari. What do you, because we talked about that last ILP, what do you guys feel in reference, with your opinion, to the PS5 rumors that are supposedly saying that it could drop in 2018? Are you on board with that or not?
I mean, I don't have a Pro yet, so it wouldn't bother me. I dropped the $400, so I was like, yeah, bring it on. I'll spend my money there. I actually wish I knew.
I don't think that's true at all either.
Okay.
I was like, I think I don't know, it seems a little preemptive. 19 would make a little more sense, for at least to give the whole, we started in 13, so 6 years, even though they're doing this whole mid-console refresh for sure, but I don't know, 18 seems really quick.
And no temptation, you think, for them to try to steal the narrative back from Microsoft with the Scorpio impending?
I mean, if they did, they'd have to blow the doors off of it. Like, they really would have to take the Pro and basically say, both of the things we have are junk.
It never existed.
Yeah, they would have to basically kind of fade away the Pro and say, okay, now we're going to blow the doors off of Xbox with something new, because otherwise there's no point. If they just do a Scorpio relatively equal, then we're right back where we started. So I don't know.
Kid Smooth is in the comments section saying Killzone VR, the order 1887.
The order was kind of lit.
Order could be cool, actually. Order might
I would love the order.
Well, y'all are really getting into my list here.
Let Lord Addy continue. We pass it right over to you.
I kind of feel like this year, you know, obviously people want new IPs, but like if you look at PlayStation, they have a lot coming down the pipeline that's not necessarily not going to be at the C3. Like, you know, Detroit, you know, we might see that. I mean, they announced a lot between last E3 and last of their PSX. I think that they're going to go out there, and I think they're going to stick to, no offense to the PlayStation arsenal that they have going with them right now. You know, they have marketing deals with something like Red Dead Redemption 2. There's not a game besides maybe The Last of Us 2 that would kick that off. So, like, they have the best marketing deals that this year can offer. I think they're going to stick to the third party this E3. They might go out there and show some, you know, Days Gone gameplay, or I think they'll stick to games that are coming out this year. Gameplay that is only going to be at E3 this year. And then PSX, that's when they show up the games. You know, we've already went through the holiday. They don't need to show everything at this E3 because you know they're going to have a PSX. And that's going to be after all the hype's gone for all these third-party games, Red Dead Redemption 2, Destiny 2. So that's the perfect time to go out there and show, you know, if Days Gone comes out next year, show your Days Gone there in titles like that. But I do feel like, you know, we're going to see a pretty lengthy Red Dead Redemption gameplay. We're going to see, you know, a little bit on Destiny. You know, I feel like they're going to stick to a lot of their third-party marketing deals. Because when you go out and spend like $40 million plus on marketing deals, you tend to use them.
Oh, absolutely! You got to promote that. You have to promote that. I want to shout out Lord Smooth in the building. He's throwing out the order up in there too. But
he's gone King, for 2018.
Lord King, I want to get you. I know you've been chomping at the bit. I can hear it.
Yes. You know
Let's go. What's Sony?
Hey.
Prediction.
I'll go ahead
the list.
Put it up there.
Fear the list.
Put the list
up. That's right. Because I told you, and listen, I told you Sony's coming with these games. Every game on that list is official. It's official, and you know it's official because I can hear the heartbeats right now. Yeah, the list is real. So when they showed that Bloodborne there, that's right. Show that list. Yeah, that's right. When they said that Bloodborne and that stuff and Proper Rapper and all this other
Crash Kart Racing.
That's right.
Hold on.
You know, listen, that offset that Mario Kart Crash Team Racing is coming.
Okay. All right. You know, Lord Jabari, Lord Bontis. I don't know if Lord Bontis has had this conversation with us.
He was there the last time.
Lord Jabari, do you think this list is 100% accurate? Every game on this list coming out and one E3.
What's the list? Oh, let me see.
It's on the screen.
It's
you know what? Listen.
I will say mine is on there. I'm gonna chime in. I'll put mine in there. My 2 cents.
I don't think
Bloodborne 2. That one I do want to see.
Like the Crash. I don't know.
What? Okay, listen, Bari. He don't fall into his wording trap. He has a wording trap, and he always does this. He wants to sabotage my segment, and I think there's a problem here. But let me explain, because I let him get off all his little rhetoric and all his little $40 million in the crap. Yeah, okay. Listen, man. Listen, don't fall into his crap, Bari. This is I guess your first time with him, but he worded it properly for you. Do you think these games are coming out? Listen, the thing is this: they're gonna show these games in some form of fashion.
It was a question,
even if they just show, sir. Please be quiet. If they just show just the name, if they show it on the, you know, if they throw a sizzle reel up there and they be like Mario Crash Team Kart Racing, if they show just the name, then the list is official. Everything about the list is official. You can't say anything until after their press conference is over. They could throw out a list saying any damn thing, but if they throw out a sizzle reel, that doesn't mean the games have to come out. They showed out a sizzle reel and gameplay of Scalebound, and that game is canceled.
Now, Lord Bari, to Lord King's point, not to cut you, Lord King. I know everyone's been cutting you. To his point, Lord Bari, is that like Lord King is saying, all that has to happen for them to win the bet, we have an internal bet between the lords, right? Lord
With
King
the T-shirt
Lord
and
Sovereign,
everything.
with the T-shirt is on the line, and basically, if everything is either announced or even if they just show a 5-second sizzle trailer, then Lord King and Lord Sovereign, has won the bet. All we need to do is have Lord Attic and I need to have one game not be on that list, and
Yep.
it's over.
I think you're gonna lose it because we already know that the Call of Duty is not chemical warfare.
No.
Okay.
It just has to be a Call of Duty game.
That's semantics. That's semantics. We're going to give them that. I agree with you, Lord Barry. Technically, we could disqualify them.
There is
it's not chemical warfare.
There is
but
some rumors going around that that Assassin's Creed marketing is to Xbox, though. I will say that.
I think that's true. I think that's the
Yeah,
big
it's
triple A that
Xbox
they're talking
turn
about. Yeah.
because they had it last. They had it.
What do you feel about that, Lord King?
Well, how
Well,
I
it
feel
doesn't
about
mean
the
it won't come
marketing,
on
that
phone
doesn't
games,
mean that
right?
the game is just going to be
No,
exclusively
if
towards
the marketing,
Microsoft.
if Microsoft's doing the marketing, it would not be at Sony's conference.
You mean to tell me that this is okay? You sure you want to go with this, right? If they throw up a sizzle reel and they show in that 5 seconds a quick clip of Assassin's Creed because it's coming out.
Name the last time any of
Okay,
these
listen,
published.
I'm going to do the
Let's-
research.
Let's
I'm gonna do
remember,
research.
Lord Attic, that by this time Microsoft it's a day ahead. So Microsoft would have already had their conference. There's no reason
Yes.
why you couldn't have a snippet of it in Sony's
Well,
conference.
when you have the marketing rights to these franchises,
show it,
generally
though.
you don't show them at the other
Yeah,
ones.
I've never seen it. I've never seen
I've
it.
Well,
never
you know, we have never paid attention to it either, but this year our eyes is on the prize. So,
Go
Continue, Lord
post
King. Continue, Lord King, with your prediction.
thank you. Back to what I was saying, what I hope
Is
that
it
will
okay?
be
Is
at
it okay to
a
take these away though? This list? Or?
Yeah, you can take it away.
yeah, you can take it away. Thank you. Thank you for your intrusion. I do appreciate your intrusion yet again, Lord Attic.
You're welcome.
Give him some acid. Anyway, I want the resistance. Like Lord Bari brought up, I really love those games. Like Resistance, I thought those games was perfect for them. I think that game is going to come out. The games for this year that I believe that will come out this year is that Gran Turismo. They have to put it out. They can stop running from Forza all they want. It doesn't matter. The game is not going to be better than Forza. Just put the game out already. Let the people get what they want. The Resistance, I think the Resistance will carry well if they release it at a proper time during this holiday season. I know they're afraid of the Call of Duties and stuff like that that dominate the market, but they have to put out that first person that's theirs, get back to their type of Halo thing. And SOCOM, I don't really think, SOCOM is coming. It would be great if they could, but it's just too many multiplayer games that dominate that genre that I don't think that it will give a good return off the revenue of the game. So I don't think so. But my little sleeper game that I believe that is gonna come out for them, Pop Rapper the Rapper.
Wow, you took it back.
and I think honestly it's gonna have a big presence this year. I think so.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
So
I think it's gonna have a big presence.
I'm hoping Parappa is not the one that you're most passionate about. The one that's what you're really looking for. What's the one that you're really looking for? Like
Lord Cognito.
Let's go.
Lord Cognito. Don't lie. It was me and you in that house when we got that Parappa the Rapper. And you cannot front. That game was so fire.
It was hilarious.
And we played it so hard. We ended that game.
Anticipated.
I'm talking about like okay. We're already getting the crash, and if they're gonna go start digging in the crates. Start digging in the crates, baby. Y'all got enough stuff to dig in the crates, and let these people get a chance to see what game started it all. Like how was revolutionary in different aspects of genres, and that was a very revolutionary game at the time with the music and the rapping, and it was really good. So I want them to bring back the fun in the living room. See, my PlayStation, there's no fun there. It's a
Like,
solitary
so
confinement type of thing. Yeah. So if I can get my kids involved, the family involved while we're playing, and they can look at the PlayStation as a fun device, because they look at the Nintendo like it's God body. So they look at the Xbox and they're like, yeah, we can have fun aspects with that. But my PlayStation, it gets no love in my house. So I would really like for them to get back to the family core values of games. And I think that's one game, that and that Crash Team Racing, that'll get it popping.
Okay, all right. You going the family route. Lord Saul, you've been very
they
quiet.
have Parappa the Rapper out not right now.
Yeah, but not that one. I want a new one. The Parappa the Rapper 2. The one that they was talking about that was supposed to be in development that they canceled like 3 or 4 times. Not the remake of the first one. I know that. I got the first one.
Okay. So Lord Saul, you've been quiet.
Before I get into my predictions, just to make a point on what the last thing that Lord King said. Actually, the some of the developers from the original Parappa and Guitaru Man and like Vib Ribbon, they're actually coming out with a new game. It's kind of like a rhythm action game. It's called Project Rap Rabbit.
No, Project Rap Rabbit.
Rap Rabbit. And it looks like some crazy cross between some like Wu-Tang like Fever Dream and like and like a rhythm game. So who knows? And they haven't really said who it's coming out for. These type of games tend to sort of lean Sony's way. So that could be something that if you don't get a Parappa 2, I think maybe that's something you can look at. It just on name alone, it sounds interesting. So
yo, listen, Lord Sovereign, if that game is there at E3, me and you going in that section.
Y'all out of control. Y'all savage.
I ain't gonna lie. If there is a Kingdom Hearts 3 playable demo at E3, I don't care how long the line is. I'm getting in that game.
I got some stuff for me, but I want Lord Saul to go. I'm chomping at the bit.
Okay. All right. So in terms of software, I think I got to go with what Lord Bari was saying, where it's basically, I think they're going to focus a lot on, they do have a lot of third-party deals that they have to promote, and obviously that's going to get them. It's going to get a lot of people hyped for stuff with Destiny and Battlefront and whatever they have coming with Red Dead, because what they announced with Red Dead initially isn't that much, but I'm sure if there's something else in the pipeline, we'll hear about that. In terms of first party stuff, I can see God of War coming out at the end. It's God of War, Days Gone. They both showed gameplay. So it's a matter of which one is further along the line. I would say, obviously, God of War makes more sense for the holiday season because that's the known title.
Smash.
Yeah, you don't want to put. I would say it'd be difficult to put Days Gone and a brand new IP, unproven, up against the likes of a Red Dead or whoever. You don't want to cannibalize your own sales by putting out a game that's not going to be able to stand toe to toe with these other big games. So I can see God of War. I can see another trailer for Last of Us 2. I don't see gameplay until PSX. I see a gameplay reveal for PSX for Last of Us 2. With Spider-Man, I don't really see the need to release it along with the movie. It's not. I can see building off of that hype of the movie, especially if the movie is well received. But I mean, Spider-Man can stand on its own. It always has. Insomniac is in charge of it, so it's almost guaranteed that it's going to be a fun game to play. So it really doesn't matter that it comes out. The important thing is that it's finished, it's tuned. You don't want to rush that out. I can sort of see Days Gone. Excuse me, not Days Gone. Detroit Become Human. It's something that they announced. I mean,
that's
again, David Cage.
Right there. That's
David Cage games. I'm a big fan of Heavy Rain.
Yes.
The game that followed it, I forgot the name of it. I didn't like it as much. But Heavy Rain was definitely something that I loved on the PS3, and this one looks to expand upon that more. Anybody who's a fan of Until Dawn will know that they kind of they outdid David Cage. So I think Cage is coming for the crown again with Become Human, and I can see that as something that's kind of released right in that window right before the holiday rush. I can see a release date for Part 1 of Final Fantasy VII, the remake. I can definitely see that. And in terms of other, let me see. So that's in terms of software. That's where I think they're going. I think they're going to push hard with the third-party stuff, and then these select few first parties that are coming out soon. In terms of hardware, it's interesting. We talked about it last week in terms of what I think they might do in terms of a PS5, and honestly, if they do have something to announce for 2018, I think they do. They mention it, whatever it may be, just mentioning it. Like I was recently.
You think like mic drop into the show, kind of like how Microsoft did Scorpio at last E3? If they do have something in tow, do you think that's how they go?
If they have something in tow that they're expecting to release by the end of 2018, absolutely. But then again, it's something that over the past week, an article came out on Digital Foundry talking about. Is it feasible for them to release something at the end of 2018? And if so, what does that machine look like? What's the in terms of power? What does that machine look like?
And don't forget that Sony's not really against announcing something years ahead of time too.
Oh, they're absolutely not.
True. That is true.
They're absolutely not. So they could. I mean, again, they could announce it and then it's slated for 2019. Who knows? I mean, they could definitely do that. But again, basically the consensus with that article was basically saying that if Mark Cerny is to be believed, and what he believes the next generation of a PlayStation, he wants it to be kind of this fundamental paradigm shift, then releasing something in 2018 with the hardware that's available and what they expect to be available, and when you take into consideration price and all this stuff, it's not anything that is going to blow the Scorpio out of the water. So at that point, does it make sense to even do that?
Right. So, now, based on time frame and development, as far as what's available from a hardware perspective, that's what you mean? Yeah,
in terms of going to like Ryzen and stuff like that. Because again, I don't think it's feasible, and we'll talk about this later on with the Switch and the Tegra stuff. I don't think it's feasible for them to go with Nvidia anymore in terms of consoles. If the console's purpose is to offer bang for the buck and scalable hardware at as low a price as possible, then you don't go with Nvidia. You go with AMD. So I don't think. I think they need to be looking at Ryzen stuff and what they can do with that if they're looking to release something at the end of 2018. Beyond that, who knows?
Now, Lord Soft, I need that mic drop moment for you personally. What would say, whoa, they won the show with this personally? Like, what either game or action would they need to take to make you give it up and say, you know what, Sony got it?
If they decided to copy some sort of Game Pass thing, and announce like some sort of true backward compatibility. And of course, being able to change your PSN name. That would be a big.
That's my drop.
Drop my mic, changing my name. That's all I want.
Done. Lord Bari, I need some feedback on that one. Oh man, that is too funny. Hopefully this mic is going.
They're not gonna do that. They got that PSN thing going on and they're pushing that. They invested heavy into streaming. Microsoft route and their route is two different things. Microsoft route is they download it to the system. The system itself plays the game opposed to you worrying about streaming. Sony, their aspects, their service, their money revenue, their streaming is the big aspect of their stuff. So, Lord Bari, if you want to chime in there, you can get that.
Oh, about what? Like PS Now streaming?
I wanted to comment on the game. First, the name change comment. So, is that wins the show?
My bad. I had to step away for a minute. So I missed the last little second. So catch me up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much one of Lord Sovereign's moments, he was saying that what kind of like win it for him as far as like backward compatibility. If Sony announced that, like true backward compatibility, as opposed to the Gaikai streaming service that Sony has set up right now. And then his second mic drop board up to Sony would be allow the PSN name change ability.
Well, I don't think we're going to see backwards compatibility on PS4. I just don't think it's something feasible that it can do. Not like how Xbox is doing it. I don't know, because PS3 is just a complete different architecture. with the cell processor. So that's why the reason why they went the cloud route. And I just think they're too invested in Gaikai and all that stuff. So
I agree.
Backwards compatibility, I don't see that happening on the PS4. Well, not the PS4. When it comes to what was the other thing again? My bad.
No, that's fine. No, that's pretty much it. Which is those two comments for Lord Sovereign's personal mic drop moments. That was it.
If they do, I mean, that would be cool. But you know what I mean? Like, I think backwards compatibility is a very cool feature to have. Like, it's something that complements the console, but it's a very overrated thing that much more people like buying a new console for me. Yeah, having the ability to play an old game is going to be fine. I would never knock backwards compatibility, but the whole aspect is to move forward. So you want to play new games.
So I think I'm getting the PlayStation mind frame. So your thing is I got 500 Xbox 360 games. Let me just throw all these games away and get that Xbox One. Oh, I understand. That makes incredible amount of sense.
No, I mean it's not. It's like I said, I would never knock. I would never knock it. I think it's a great feature to have. But honestly,
it's not something that you push for.
If you're getting a whole bunch of new games, you know what I mean? I'm getting Horizon,
right.
Armada, I'm getting Tales of Vesperia, all those games. Are you going to play the newer games that you can get a new experience from, or are you going to go back to the old games? You know
that is the Sony argument.
My thinking is this: that as we move forward, and it seems like we have to remember that these gaming in general, in terms of evolving technology, has slowed down. You don't see these huge leaps that you saw from the PS2 Xbox generation to the 360 PS3 generation. The leaps aren't that huge anymore. So that's why these console manufacturers are looking into these mid-cycle refreshes. So when you're talking about replacing or upgrading your console every 3 to maybe 4 years now, instead of that 5 to 8 year or even almost 10-year cadence that we had with the 360 PS3 generation. Now you're looking at it's a difficult sell to tell somebody, like, you know what, I want you to switch up your console in 3 years, and you're gonna have to forget about everything you've had the past 3 years. Like, it's a tough sell. So that's why I think moving forward, this is something that has to be important. Even if, like I said, for Lord Bari, it's not that important to him. I think for general consumers being and these are the people that the 60 million, these are those people. I mean, if you think about hardcore gamers and then the people that make up the rest of that huge number, a lot of those people are looking at a product that they can purchase and is going to be viable for God knows how long. Whereas we're more willing to go purchase something in 3 years, and it might sting to tell us, like, you know what, everything you've had the past 3 years only works on that, and moving forward it won't work for you. It might sting, but we'll probably accept it and just run and roll with those punches. The general consumer is not going to do that.
But let me ask you this: as a consumer, like a video game enthusiast, that somebody that's, or it can be a casual, somebody that's going to buy a new console, Xbox One, PS4, whatever it is. You're going to buy a new console. You already say you're an Xbox fan or a PlayStation fan. You already have the old console, but you're going to buy a new console. You rather them have backwards compatibility with not offering so many new games, or you will have a consistent flow of new games coming to that new console?
I don't think there needs to be a trade-off. I think the older games are going to be there already, so it's not going to be. Obviously, I want new stuff, absolutely. But the fact that you're telling me that I can trade in my old system towards that new system, and those games that I have are still going to run on the new hardware. That's a sell.
But I'm saying you're trading in your old system to play the old games that you already could have played on your old system.
Absolutely,
but the offer that is new.
He's just saying
about the space. It's a space thing.
He's just saying the world that we're going now with consoles. We have this this upgrade system, because we've never had mid-gen concentrations besides the fiasco, that Sega did. It's just that in this kind of gaming industry that we're moving forward to, where we can potentially have a new console in 5 years. That he thinks that it's a necessity to have backwards compatibility, because in 5 years, you can miss games easily. And I do understand that if you're a gaming enthusiast and you buy another console, but you got to consider that, in 5 years from now, we'll have new generations getting into gaming. They don't necessarily have the opportunity to play older games.
Oh, I'll give you my little thought on it. My thought on it is real estate. Under the TV, you don't have that many HDMI spots. That's one. You don't have all the real estate under your television as you did back in the days. With putting all these systems stacked up. Because I have a ton of systems, and some of them are disconnected. Like my Neo Geo and stuff like that is disconnected from the television. So my thing is real estate. But if I can swap out a system for the next system and still keep the same games that I have to play them, because don't get it twisted. This Mario Kart that we playing is not a new game at all. And if it was you had the ability to play the Wii U version of the game with the same system, I'm pretty sure that people would welcome that instead of remastering games and putting them back out. I don't like the remastered thing. Is a cheap form of backward delete compatibility. If you just had you
prefer the backward compatibility as opposed to the remasters, what you're saying?
I prefer that you valued my dollar. You understand? Because I paid for that game. I paid $60 for that game, and for you to tell me that game can't carry forth into the next generation, Microsoft aspect of it is they fixed it, and they understood that they want your library to travel with you on every device, and that is huge, and it's very understated, because when you can take your old game, the same fun game that we played, that Halo, and we could take it, we could throw it in, and we could still play it in a new system, that's great. That's fantastic. Because GameStop isn't giving you the value for your dollar.
I think it's being used too much as a clutch, because it would be a perfect world if it was you had the backwards compatibility and you're getting new stuff. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I'm getting so much new stuff, I don't have time to play any old stuff right now.
I mean, to be honest with you, I do enjoy the 360 backwards compatibility, but I cannot name, besides maybe Deus Ex Human Revolution, I did play that game from beginning to end on backwards compatibility. I ain't beat any games on backwards compatibility. Like, I do get that, I will agree with Jabari. A lot of people, especially, fanboys, they really do use that a little bit too much. Like, it's a huge, move that Microsoft did, but it's not the all be all. I think it would have been the all be all if it was there on launch. That's when I think it would have been really effective, because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you go into when you load up that 360 emulator, if you go into game chat in your actual party, you can be in the party chat on the 360. So, there was a lot of people that didn't have an Xbox, for instance, me, I had the Xbox One like 2 months after launch, that all my friends were still on the 360 and I was over there. I had to make new friends. Like, so like, it would have been nice to be able to go into an emulator of the 360, still be able to communicate with these individuals until they're able to make that jump. But, I felt like it was a good move what they did. It was like 2 years after launch, but
you're
like
talking about
opportunity.
You got to really look at it in this world. That's AP after Phil. All right. Now after Phil, and we're gonna start talking in terms like this when we talk about Microsoft. After Phil, year one, you got your Scorpio with all of that stuff. You understand? So backward compatibility is there from the beginning.
And another thing you need to remember about that backward compatibility now on the X1 is just straight up backward compatibility. You might have a little bit of improvement. On Scorpio, you're talking about true upscaling to 4K of these 360 games.
Yes,
you're talking about solid frame rates across the board. Any 360 games that had unlocked frame rates are going to run at their maximum frame rate. Like, so whatever improvements you're seeing on the one on backward compatibility, you're gonna see even more on the Scorpio. And again, another thing we need to realize is that what's the biggest gaming platform in the world besides mobile? It's not PlayStation, it's not Xbox, it's not Nintendo, it's the PC. And what does the PC do? What does Steam do? Every game that you purchase on Steam, any game that I purchased on Steam back in 2000, whatever, 2010, will work on my system today, whatever system I have today. It'll require some patches or whatever, but it's going to work. And again, so Microsoft is touting it, and people say like, "Oh, they're using it as a crutch." They're not using it as a crutch. It's a new concept to console gaming. You need to bring it to the forefront because a console gamer who's never been exposed to that on the PC, it's something alien to them. It's something. It's something they haven't seen. So yeah, if you're gonna tout that, then you got to bring it to the forefront.
I don't think backwards compatibility is new. That's been around.
Right, but it's not going around. Okay, and how long did it last on PS2 before they got rid of and excuse me, from PS2 to PS3? How long did that last?
Yeah,
before they got rid of it?
They got rid of it on PS3 because guess what? Nobody was using it. It wasn't
that nobody was using it. They changed the hardware.
They changed the hardware.
They changed the hardware because they have data on this stuff. It's like nobody's using it.
Right.
Yeah, but you gotta see the metrics. I mean, the thing is, real quick, because I don't want to stay too long on backward compatibility.
Yeah, let's go.
But what I was gonna say is that the thing is too. I know at least on the Xbox side, like there's a metric that we have. It's for like most played games, and it's on the Xbox Live Store. So surprisingly, like when Black Ops 2, I remember when people were like complaining like, why is that not added? A lot of people wanted that. That was one of the last games kind of added to the backward compatibility list. And when you look at the most played games list right now, like it's like number 4. So to me, it just amazed me that people still wanted to play this old game. But I do want to get Lord Ebontis in on this because I know we haven't got his opinion on where he's at with backward compatibility before we move on, and then I'll get my E3 stuff going. But Lord Ebontis, where are you with backward compatibility? Your feeling on it in general?
I mean, honestly, for me, I'm one of those who enjoy modernized games. Give me backward compatibility on Nintendo, and I'll be a happier camper.
I'm with you, man. Virtual console, let's go.
I was like, there you go. That's the whole different problem. But no, honestly, when it comes to, like, as you guys are saying, especially for Sony, PS3 had that weird architecture. Going forward, it makes it a lot easier if they're going to do, whenever we get a PS5, PS4 should still be that x86 architecture. So it should be a lot easier to do it if they're going to. Right now, as you guys were saying, 3 to 4 doesn't make sense because the cell processor and weird stuff. They're doing what they can with 2, but 4 to 5 and in the future should work a lot more on PC and Xbox the same way. It's all the same architecture. They should be very similar ports. That's why people can do that a lot easier. So my idea is going forward, great. Honestly, I've got too much to play to get my hands on anything old right now, unless it's Nintendo, and then I'll go play old stuff. But yeah, give me a port of Super Metroid, and I'm a happy camper on my Switch. That's all I want to do. So.
And what's funny is Nintendo is the #1 person that usually backs backwards compatible.
Look at the Switch. Switch don't got it, but everybody's buying it up.
Oh, at some point they're gonna have new
experience. They got the old game.
That's true, but people are buying it up.
But the thing is, okay. Well, last week we covered this. The user interface. Nintendo's trying to get it right. They don't want to stumble. Right now they're on a winning streak, and nobody wants that hot streak to end right now for them. So, the user interface will start to incorporate all those wonderful things you guys like for Christmas.
I know, coming Christmas. We remember. Let me jump in on this.
Merry Christmas.
My E3 stuff with Sony. I mean, I think you guys really made some great points. Lord Bari made some amazing points. If they announced the SOCOM, that would be kind of crazy. I do agree with Lord King that I am concerned that with a game like that or a new IP that they have basically. Well, one thing I got to give Sony credit, they usually do a good job of not bunching up their IPs during the holiday season and allow stuff to move. So if they did something like that, as long as it's not around, like for example, like a Call of Duty, something like that, and Battlefront, I believe that's coming as well. That's the next big one. So yeah, I mean, I expect Sony to basically promote all the stuff that they have marketing deals with. I expect a huge Destiny 2 showcase. I expect a huge Call of Duty showcase. All the stuff that they have, that exclusive marketing, right? And we're going to see a lot of that stuff. As far as IPs that they've shown off that I'm personally excited about, I would like to see if Days Gone is back on that stage. Definitely like the look of it. Detroit, man. I mean, it says no more. Like that, really, I'm a huge fan of Telltale type stuff. and choose your own adventure and choices affecting gameplay dramatically, and that looked like it's in that reign. Very excited about that. I mean, now as far as mic drop stuff, I'm surprised no one didn't bring this up on the round table today. Like, this was what about 2 E3s ago? I need my Shenmue, man.
I'm gonna
tell y'all right now.
You paid for it already, right?
The Kickstarter. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now.
No, I mean you paid for it on the Kickstarter, right?
No, I didn't.
That's all I wanted to know.
No. I'm glad you said that. No, the reason why I didn't is because, one, everything wasn't initially clear in the beginning, and then two, I'm like, okay, what are y'all really like? It wasn't outlined the specifics until like a couple of months after, when they reach this goal, then it's gonna get this. I felt uncomfortable, and Yu Suzuki's my man. Like, that's the reason why I got into gaming with Yu Suzuki. So, and I got a chance to meet him. So shout out to Suzuki-san. But the whole thing is, it's like, you need to give me an outline. I'm not just throwing money at you because you got my emotion.
But that's what Kickstarter is about. Throw that money at it, and if it's stick, it's stick.
Listen, I've seen some horror stories out in these Kickstarter streets. And as much as I love Shenmue, as much as Shenmue is the reason why I had to say Dreamcast. I mean, Lord King, you know.
It's just sad when Shenmue was announced. The only thing I could think of is, what the hell is Shenmue?
The Young Bucks say no, but for me, Lord King, Lord Soft, like, we know what the impact of that game was at its time. And all I can say is, like, back then, what was it, the AM2 guys with Virtua Fighter? Like, Virtua Fighter was the pinnacle of graphical fighting at that time, right? So you're putting that engine into an open world where you had to get a job, and it was like a life simulator with these amazing graphics. And then you had the fighting aspects, and Lord Bari, he's a big fighting guy. Like, they had QTEs, but they also had straight up fighting segments where you had to do move lists and you had to get busy. So, like, it was just this perfect combination, like, of all these weird things, but just made this amazing game. At least the first one, that's the effect it had on me. And then where they won for me is, I'm an old school, Sega guy. So, like, they had a place where you can go to the arcade and play the emulated arcade perfect versions of Hang On and Outrun and Space Harrier. These are games I grew up with. So Shenmue has a special place for me. Now, if they were to show that and say release date, boom, maybe not this year.
They wanted you to have faith and put your money on it, and you're supposed to believe.
I don't do trailers. I don't get caught up with that.
Oh, so you didn't fall for the Sony fraud? That's the.
But all I'm saying is, Sony has great IPs. They have great titles. I am personally not a fan of showing me a trailer without a release date. Give me a date. So I say, okay, in 2018, I'm expecting this. In 2019, I'm expecting that. Then I'm in. But when it's a kind of a wishy-washy, and still to this day, we haven't heard a peep from where's the progress on Shenmue? I don't know what's a weekly update. I don't know if Lord Bari or Ebontis, anybody knows. Like,
I know.
Talk to me, please.
Give me talk to us.
That I did support it. I'm a huge Shenmue fan.
Oh,
okay. To me.
You get weekly updates about the game. They show how the story's progressing, the music and all that stuff.
There you go, Lord Cognito. If you
want Lord Bari, did you put your money down on Kickstarter?
Yeah, I did.
That's what I'm talking about. So he's getting the updates and everything after he put the money in.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but they're still slated for 2017. It's supposed to come out 2017.
Oh, stop now! I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm making a proclamation on the ILP. If Shenmue is 2017, I will get my Sony back. I will tell y'all right now. If what Lord Bari is saying is true, that's how important Shenmue is. Because up until this day, don't get me wrong, Horizon Zero Dawn, all that stuff is amazing. My personally emotional connection is that, and the other game would be what Lord Attic or Final Fantasy VII. If we got a release date on that, because again, like, to me, Sony in its heyday for me is PlayStation 1. That's me, because to me it's like, so that represented this young, aggressive Sony They were coming out. They were trying to get that deal with Nintendo, remember, to make the series system. Nintendo turned them down, and they just said, you know what? We're going to do this on our own. And that system, for me personally, is one of my, I know a lot of people disagree. People say it's the PS2, and I get it. You know, PS2 is fantastic. But for me personally, I remember seeing a arcade perfect Tekken 1. That's the first time I seen really arcade perfect console translations. Remember, Lord King? We used to go, we used to see it. We like, wow, like this is that's the same I got in my house. Like there's no difference. Plus we had extra stuff, you know, and they had like Jumping Flash and Battle Arena to Shinden. Like don't get it twisted. You know, Xbox is my preferred platform, but you know, Sony, I grew up with them. And that was my Sony. That was the Sony that I liked. Oh,
PS1 is definitely a classic. But I always say this with a lot of people. If you love PS1, if you love PS2, there's no reason for not owning a PS4 because all of the games that was out that time, you're getting the same type of genres and the same type of games right now in this generation.
Here's the thing with me, Lord Bar, I copped my PS4 on launch, right? I did cop. I was like, you know what? The potential is going to be there. At the time when they dropped, we all know Resolution Gate. We know that multi-platform performing better. Now, me personally, all my friends are on Xbox, right? So there was no need for me to rush out for the multi-plat aspect. But my thing was just like, okay, a lot of their IPs that are great are single-player IPs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I needed something personally for me that either was from the old generation that can get me back, or like, you know, something. Don't get me wrong. I guess their IPs just don't personally connect with me. I'm not saying they're not great. Like Last of Us, all that stuff's amazing, but I just needed something to grab me. So I was still okay, kind of getting my IPs and stuff from Xbox. Now, when you talk about stuff like God of War, Shenmue, that stuff that has an emotional connection with me, then I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's just all it is. But I mean, the way I look at it right now is that I was going to get the PS4 Pro when it announced. That's when I was going to get it back. So I saw it to Lord Swat. Shout out to Lord Swat. But the Switch came out, and I'm like, wow, I'm really excited about this. I'm a person.
You gotta switch over a PS4.
I got to switch over a PS4 Pro. I had the money in my hand. I was in the store, and I got the Switch because I looked at it. I said, Nintendo's offering me something I can't get anywhere from a first party perspective, right? And the portability factor. I'm like, not even Xbox is doing that. So I'm like, it has a unique niche for me, and Xbox has my multi-platform.
Well, you got it. You got the,
I know, right?
Yo, I'm with you. I'm 100%, but I'm trying to get your angle here. You got this. I got to switch day one, right? I got to switch day one.
I got to switch day one. Yes.
Day one over the PS4 because they offering stuff that
over the PS4 Pro.
You had a PS4 first, though.
But
I had a PS4 already.
The thing is, the Switch hasn't offered anything like of a new experience yet. Everything is
not no disrespect, Lobart, until you play Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I played Zelda, but that's on the Wii U. I'm saying like
you have the Wii U. Okay. See, I didn't have the Wii U. I gave up on Nintendo. So Nintendo, for me, I had the last Nintendo system I bought was like N64. You know what I mean? GameCube. Like I didn't mess with Nintendo no more. I walked away from them. So all these experiences that you guys like Lord King have played already, these are new to me. I never had a Wii U. So it's like the Switch feels like a brand new thing. You understand what I'm saying? That's where my mindset is with it. Not that I was really dissing Sony. It was just like, I like what I'm seeing from Nintendo. I like that they're trying to not be grandpa anymore and modernize a little bit. And to me, it's the portability. I'm on the go. I'm working. I'm traveling.
I personally love the Switch. I like the Switch, but it is a lackluster console with a great game on there. That's all it is. Yeah, that system is bare bones.
I feel you. In comparison, I don't look at it as a true console. I really look at it as a handheld. Like me and Lord Sovereign has had the discussion before. Like, it's not I don't look at it in the same vein like an Xbox. They don't even have messaging and party chat. And the ILP, we've talked about this. You know what I'm saying? Like their UI is so bare bones and old school and archaic. I'm with you, Lord, but I don't even look at it like that. I look at it
Day
as
it happens, it's over.
I feel like
Oh, absolutely.
a Switch is going to be perfect, like in the holiday season, because then you're going to have like an experience that you cannot experience anywhere else other than the Switch. You know,
I got Zelda now. I got Breath of the, I got Mario. Kart right now. I got NBA Playgrounds, the same port
real,
as
though.
you guys.
Let's be real. Like the Switch's big hits at the moment are on the Wii U. If you do want to,
no, absolutely, he's right. Again, but for me,
how many Wii U's are out there? Like honestly, how many Wii U's are out there? Like that, it's not that viable of an argument when you're talking about 12 million Wii U's out there, 13 million maybe.
19.
Really? Okay, so
he said really.
And how many? Okay, so, and let's how many of those people who own those Wii U's also went out and bought Switches and are playing that game on the Switch? I just don't think it's that viable of an argument.
Still, regardless how you go at it, it's still on another platform.
It is. But if you tell me it's on a platform that sold 60 million, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, but if you tell me it's on another platform that sold 60 million, they sold 60 million, then I'm like, okay, fine, it's on another platform. Like this,
right?
It's a hard argument to make. You're talking about worldwide, maybe 19. Like, nah, most people are playing it on the Switch.
Right? No, I mean, the reality is a lot of people, did not support the Wii U, and fell back on it. And again, there's a lot of people that are in my situation, Bari. I know where you're coming from. These, in your opinion, you're like, yo, these are not new experiences. They've been out, and I get it. But there are a lot of people who come into my category where these are new experiences. But I don't want to get too far off with Nintendo. Back to Sony. But
we've derailed the entire podcast.
We went left. But
my bad.
I'm getting to know you guys. You bring some great points. What I want to get back to what you were saying was how you get me back, Bari. This is what you got to do. You gotta show that Shenmue on stage with a release date. You throw that God of War holiday, you know what I mean? With a release date. And then if you could put the cherry on the top, I need that Final Fantasy VII. You give me those 3 games, I'll run out there and get that Pro. I'll be right there with you. That's what I need for something. What do you think? What do you think about that, Bari?
I do think you're going to see those games. Shenmue, will we see that at E3? It's possible. I think if they have something ready to go from the updates I've seen, it looked like they probably have something ready to go at Sony conference or whatever. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. But it's still slated. If you look it up, go to the Kickstarter. It's still slated 2017. It said December.
It's still slated 2017. I'm counting on you, Bari. I'm going to go for you for updates. You're going to be my source.
I don't know if it's going to come out. But right now they're saying that's what they're saying.
You must. So I need you to tweet me anytime you get an update with regard to show.
Oh yeah, they send them just like weekly sometimes.
Oh, and since he's pulling that, you need to tweet him when that's out. You need to tweet and be like, "It's out, Beak."
You know what, Lord Bari?
Right there.
Lord Bari, what you need to do is tell him to go and put his money down on Kickstarter. He could get the update himself. That's what you need to do. That was your opening right there to tell him to jump in feet first, just like you did, with conviction and faith behind the game you love, to go put that $10 down on Kickstarter and cut the crap.
King, did you put your Kickstarter money down?
Nope, because I'm not buying it.
Yeah, Kickstarter. I can see people like complaints with Kickstarter as far as like supporting that stuff. Cause some of the games that is out there, you support don't will come out, but you do get refunded on that stuff. But
that's true.
Yep.
I think it's. I saw Shenmue. I was like, oh damn. I started with Shenmue 2. Playing with college. You know what I mean? Going to people. I didn't even have like an Xbox or a Dreamcast like that. I was going to people's room and I was playing that shit. I was like, oh, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's amazing for its time. Amazing.
All right, let's go now.
What's got on Sony's E3? We're gonna wrap this up. It's gonna be huge. I think that Sony. I think people are sleeping on Sony, just in the sense that obviously we know the pressures on Microsoft this year. Go ahead. Okay. You want to throw it?
On May 16th, Sony is releasing something special. I will talk about it in the next segment.
Okay. Before we jump in, we're going to jump into Nvidia, but if you want to hold that one for a little bit. But
yeah, no, yeah, in my segment.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay, cool, no doubt, no doubt. But yeah, just back to wrapping this whole thing up. First of all, great comments by the Lords. I think this is going to be huge for Sony, and like I said, it would be very interesting to see if they got some loaded nukes just waiting for Microsoft to pop off after the Scorpion announcement on Sunday. So I'm very, very curious. And one thing about Sony, they're very good about keeping their leaks usually under wraps. So it will be interesting to see them. So let's move this thing along. Let's get into our next topic. And I wanted to bring this to the table basically in reference to Nvidia and the Nintendo Switch. And one thing that caught my eye was obviously, the huge stock uptick that Nvidia has just been raking, right now, benefiting because of the success of the Switch, up to 300 to 400 million, Switch sales next year. And it's just like, in talking with Lord Kaibatsu about this and that Tegra X1 chipset that's actually inside the Switch, and now that this gamble has paid off and, the Switch is just selling like hotcakes, you can't find it, what do we think? I want to bring it to the table. Like, what do we think this bodes for the Switch in the future? And also, because of this success, do we think this would now also empower or embolden Nvidia to say, okay, with future, we can make future iterations, improve upon what's existing and continue this development? So I'm bringing it to the Lords. Actually, I want to bring it to Ebontis because he also has Switch as well. What do you think about these whole developments with Nvidia, the Tegra processor, and all the success now as far as the revenue that's coming in because of this early success with Nintendo Switch?
Well, I mean, when it comes to obviously the uptick in sales, you saw that Nintendo was going to change their estimated production. They actually doubled their production, which obviously probably helped with their stock uptick since that was coming in. I guess I'm trying to get at what is your question that you're going for?
Well, the question is, okay, now that we see that it's successful and NVIDIA is definitely profiting off of it, do we think we'll see future iterations of the Switch? And two, if we do, what are some things that you may want or that NVIDIA needs to do in reference to, for example, like how they do with the 3DS, so to speak, right? They come up with different iterations, stuff like that. Along that line, do you think that will happen? And if so, what do you personally want with these iterations?
Oh, man. Can I pass it off and come back?
Sure, no problem.
I was like, I'm sitting here trying to think. I'm like, that's a laundry list or a tiny list.
Take your time. We can
go on, come back to that.
Lord King, sound like you wanted to jump into something?
Yeah, I think it's sad that the Switch just launched and we talk about Switch 2. But I would like to say that I don't think Nintendo. Okay, you have to say, how does Nintendo categorize this? And being the fact that Nintendo is not categorizing it as a portable system and they're categorizing it as a console first, you have to be very fearful in those words, because they're holding on to their 3DS line, because they're releasing a 2DS XL in July. Now, I already have 3 of those on pre-order for the kids. So they're not letting go of that 2DS, 3DS portable market. They're holding on to that. So the Switch won't infringe upon that market at all. No matter how successful it is, it will only be a console to them. And Nintendo has shown you from every iteration of a console system, it has been different, and they have used different control schemes to dictate the console. Now, would the next console have a Tegra inside? I don't know. But will it have the same form factor and the same playability as a Switch? I think not.
Okay. You think that it's going to be completely different? Like break that down.
Yeah, I think it's an isolated console. Going from the NES to the Super NES, those were the only two that held those two names. Then you went from the Nintendo 64. And then you went to the GameCube. So out of all of those systems, except for the first two, the control schemes changed dramatically on the controllers, and the way that the system was to be marketed to the public. So from then on, then you got the Wii U, you got the Wii, then the Wii U, and then they started going into a trend of how the controller dictated from the Nintendo 64, how the controller dictated how you played the games, because they wanted it to be an experience opposed to it being just the same old thing going from system to system.
To your point, Lord King, do you think this is an example of kind of like, because one of the things I hear about Nintendo a lot is that almost like Lord Saab's gonna laugh, like they try to reinvent the wheel for no reason. Right.
Yep.
Like sometimes you have things that are existing in place, right? And Nintendo feels that they can do hotter by doing something extra that no one else has ever done. So, do you think it would be a mistake to do that, or to go away from what's going on?
No, I don't.
You think they will continue to try to innovate something else?
I think being that they showed you with the Switch, if they had that mindset that they wouldn't try to go forward, we wouldn't have got the Switch. We wouldn't have gotten the fact that they said, all right, motion controllers with haptic feedback, with portability, and with all that craziness in the room, all that magic, this happens. So to stifle their creativity and to tell them, no, listen, y'all hit with this, stay safe. No, Nintendo doesn't play safe. Nintendo plays by their own rules. They really don't care. Let them do their thing. What you said was, the question was, the future Tegra chips, do you feel that the next chips will be inside the next systems? Yes, I think so. Because they did it with IBM, with the GameCube and the Wii U. So I honestly believe so. With the PowerPC architecture, I really believe that they will do so with the Switch, because it has been a good marriage so far. And financially, I think Nvidia understands that they're boxed out with Microsoft and Sony with these constant refresh of the systems. AMD has cornered that market with them as far as, the Ryzens and pushing stuff forward. So I think AMD is boxed out with them, and the only foothold is Nintendo.
Gotcha. Any lords want to jump in on this?
Yeah, I was like, well.
No, go ahead.
Back, yeah. So I have just an idea for you guys. The Switch dock. What if they started to actually upgrade that, and your Switch was the same, but they still can upgrade separately for that, to where your home playing for bigger AAA games and stuff like that might get support on home, and then they could find a way to scale it down, maybe take it with you.
Right, which is kind of in a sense what they do now, because isn't it portable mode down to 720?
But I was like, if it could actually maybe, or what if there's games that if you do, they slap something bigger in a separate dock, something like that. I mean, even if they threw another Tegra chip in there or something like that and make it a little beefier dock, but then you hook it up and you can play some more of your AAA games at home on your Switch or something like that. I don't know. I'd be curious what they could see, but more, I don't want to say remote play, more like the Vita did for PS4, but if you had a little more powerful base on something like that, to where I could literally just pick it up, lay down in bed, still play Destiny in my bed, just sign me up, right there. I'm done. That's
Fire.
If they can do what Vita wanted to do, and make it powerful enough so it can handle that.
You're stealing my topic, Iman. You're stealing my points.
Hey, that's you asked for it. I came back and but that's that would be the winner for me, is if you could do, because Breath of the Wild looks awesome, but Destiny 2, I literally cannot wait to see what that gameplay looks like, because especially if they show it on a Pro, for example, it's going to look epic. If it looks like Horizon, crap, I'm done. But something like that, to that detail level. What?
Whatever, Lord Addict.
What Addict laugh at?
He's laughing at something, but continue, Lordy.
But that's what I would like to see. And then, of course, just get on board with the world, iterations, not even hardware related, just software. Get on board with Party Chat. Get on board with the world of the rest of mobile games.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yeah, just get on board with all of that stuff that the rest of the consoles do, is quit living in your Japanese bubble and let the world talk to each other in games.
Lord Smooth, he always saying that he wants Xbox to be brought to the Switch. The Xbox Live service to be brought to the Switch.
Come with Lord King, Christmas.
Lordy Bontis, I just want to say that we've never had a system that launched in March, right?
Correct.
So I honestly felt that Nintendo could have said, yo, we could hold off on the Switch until November. We could have the user interface fantastic at that time. But we have a Scorpio coming out. We don't know how that's going to perform in the wild. And Sony's going to be releasing these games. We have this window here where it's unprecedented that we can actually gain traction and it can push us through to Christmas. And I thought that was a great gamble. But the user interface won't be all the way where these other people have theirs at, like, you know, party chat and stuff like that. Stuff that you already know that it's built for because it has a headphone jack and they have peripherals that they sold for it at launch, but it wasn't really ready for it. Right. So I thought the trade-off with them was early release, implementing the user interface later on into the system, or late release with full functionality.
It's almost like a staggered launch, so to speak, right? Okay,
like
right. Feel like,
yeah.
Well, it's like a soft opening. They had Zelda. Basically, they can ride the coattails of that until they get like the next big thing. So, I mean, Zelda was huge.
Yep.
So, it's over 100% adoption rate too. That cracks me up.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Insane.
Not fair.
That doesn't even make sense. I'll take it.
Lord Ebontis, you good on next? I want to get Lord Saul, let you have some more points.
Nope. Yeah, I'm good. That's most of mine. Yeah, give me a PS Vita since I took yours. Yeah, I'll stop talking now.
It's all good. Great mind. Great lords think alike. It's all good. Lord Saul, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think moving forward, I think they definitely continue to work with Nvidia and whatever the next iteration of the Tegra chip is, whatever it is, X1 or X2. Because kind of to reiterate what I said earlier and what Lord King said, I think they're sort of out of luck in terms of trying to break in with PlayStation and Xbox. I think they have a good thing going with AMD where they can make significant improvements system to system without breaking the bank. Whereas with Nvidia, it's always the hardware is always going to be more expensive. Right. Nvidia is usually first to come out and most expensive to come out, and then AMD comes from behind, improves upon it, makes it more efficient and cheaper. It's usually the cadence that they follow. But in terms of mobile processors and powerful mobile processors, NVIDIA in that regard is kind of the only game in town. So I think it makes perfect sense to continue to partner with Nintendo because of their own accord, the Shield wasn't selling gangbusters. Mm-hmm. So you have that affiliation with this company that now is selling immensely.
That's damn near saving them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So they weren't doing too well.
I think whatever they do, they're going to stick with them. That said, though, also kind of reiterating what Lord King said, I don't think something worries me about Nintendo is that they don't know how to get out of their own way sometimes. And
say it, Lord Saul.
I think their desire to make toys and be toy makers supersedes their desire to give game players what they want. They're always going to try to tell you what you want rather than listen to you and give you what you want. And that's kind of been, and I won't say their downfall, but this is the reason for the peaks and valleys with them. Right now we're in a high peak and with Wii U we're in a very low valley. So you worry that they're going to go with that again and say, you know what? Yeah, we're back. We have mind share again. People are loving us. They're going to love us even more when they see the next thing they're going to give them. And it's nothing like this. and it's nothing like the Switch.
Y'all scaring me, man. I don't want to hear
that. You worry about it because they're going to need to show throughout the lifetime of the Switch that they're willing to take our criticisms, take it into account, and implement it. Like when you're talking about Christmas time and all these features that we have on PlayStation already, all these features that we have on Xbox already, if by Christmas time we have them, then I'm like, okay, they're listening. And we'll see throughout the lifetime of the Switch if they are actually listening. And that'll give me a better idea of what to expect, of what to hope for moving forward.
Right.
But then, again, that's the only thing that worries me. That's really the only thing that worries me.
I got you. Let me jump in before Lord Addict did Lord Bar. I give it to them. I'm with you guys. I see where you guys are going with this. And historically, Lord King or some of you guys are correct. Nintendo seems to always beat to their own drum and do things their own way. So I'm just hoping, like, the way I look at the Switch is like, you've hit a home run right now, right? you've got this amazing tech. Ride the wave. Don't be extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do what you gotta do. And as far as with the, with Nvidia and all that other stuff, it's just like, all they gotta do, Nvidia right now, just make those Tegra chips again and make the newest iteration, and they should be fine. Like, I don't really think they need to do anything completely different, as far as just up the iteration physically of the chipset. And, let's say 2-3 years down the road when things advance, so this way you can try to get a little bit more of those ports. But I mean, that's just really where my mindset is with it. And I think it's a cash cow. I just don't want them to go away from what is successful and what's working. But hopefully they stick to it.
Lord Bari. Can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of hardware as well, as I was sitting here thinking about AMD, as I think about whatever my next computer is going to be. Right now, all the Ryzen processors are obviously just processors. But what if they start coming out with their APUs when they actually can handle everything in there? Do you think that would be something that could actually rival Ryzen or the Tegra on the other side?
Whoa.
That's absolutely
dropped. All right, I'm out.
That's that's absolutely true. That's another thing that we need to consider is that in the PC space, they're also looking to constantly be more efficient, more consumer friendly, more cost effective. So and smaller. Everything's you're always trying to get smaller, cooler, and faster. So yeah, the idea that they could step in and a processor a few years down the line be something that can, something kind of akin to the SoC in what's in the Scorpio and what's in the PS4 Pro. Yeah, that where all of these things are on one chip and you can put it on a small slab and have it in a small form factor. Yeah, I think moving forward, that's absolutely another thing that's to be considered. That unless kind of Nvidia shores up this relationship now, yeah, AMD could definitely muscle in and take over everything because that's just the case. Yeah.
Good point. Lord Bari, a little quiet. Any feelings on this Nvidia and Nintendo Switch developments and the success of the chip?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo using the video with the whole mobile processing and all that stuff, and having that concept of the Switch was a very smart idea, with them because they already dominate in the handheld market, and the Switch is a home console, but it also extends to a handheld, so people are already familiar with that stuff. So it works well with it. But we'll see how long it goes, man. I like
you ready for the wheels to fall off.
I like the Switch, but there's a lot of issues with the Switch, man. It's just like a 32 gigabytes of memory, with all these updates that people want and expect. I don't know how Nintendo's it's going to get filled up. You know what I mean? You're going to be dependent on an outside source to get your memory and all that stuff. I don't. The Switch is a good console. I like it a lot. I'm enjoying it, but
your concern is long term. You're like right now. You're like they're riding the wave, but you're feeling, Lord Bari, is that you don't feel that they're going to consistently be able to maintain this wave over time. Is that where you're at?
That is my concern. The long term distance of how this console is going to progress. I do feel like the fact that they're using with Nvidia and their stuff, you're going to see a lot of iterations of the Switch. You know what I mean? You might see like a year and a half from now, you're going to see a more beefier Switch. You know what I mean?
Now, what if they give you that beefier Switch with like a 2 tera or 1 tera memory embedded?
Right now,
some remote play capability.
If they offer that, I think a lot of people's going to be pissed because I mean, anybody that bought the Switch, you didn't pay no $300. You up in the $600s just to get everything.
Oh yeah.
So if they offer that something like that right now, I think I'll be upset a little bit. But I just feel like it's going down that path because just look at it. If updates come to this console, 32 gigabytes, right? You know what I mean? I don't know how big these updates are going to be, but the things that people want, like party chats, certain things like, messaging and all that stuff takes up memory. So then now you have to rely on an outside source, the SD cards. That's another cost right there you got to buy. But that stuff, you're limited to, 100 and something gigs. I don't know. Like if they want to catch up and keep up to the modern times with the Xbox and PS4. Let's look at those updates. Some of those updates be like 3 gigs, 4 gigs, 5 gigs. You know what I mean? Just to have those.
I got a question. Because I just had epiphany just sitting here listening to Lord Bari speak and what he said. And what he said rung true with me in 3 aspects. I don't mean to jump into your segment. But it really, like what you said, really struck me, and it really rings true with what Nintendo does as well. Nintendo has shown with successful systems, what they're able to do is give you memory expansion and rumble packs and stuff like that to enhance gameplay. Now, knowing that they have done this in the past, knowing that they can go to this at any time and they have no problem with doing so, do you think, and Lord Ebontis brought this up as well, we all know that if you open up your Switch inside the back, there's an expansion port there already made for future iterations of the docking system. Not the system itself, the dock. Because Nintendo knows you can always just add a little click on, boom, add extra power and go. Now, what if they released another Tegra inside of this docking station, more memory, another Tegra to get you up to 4K resolutions, also to give you more memory for the the user interface, like he said, voice chat, all the stuff, Netflix, Hulu, to do all these stuff on the fly, and not to change the system itself, but to add and enhance the system. How much would you think that would be worth to the gaming public now? To purchase, and it's not something that you have to purchase, but it's something that you can purchase to enhance your switching gameplay.
Like the dock.
I mean, I'm go ahead, Bari. I'll jump in after this.
The dock right now costs like what, like $90, I think, or $100.
Yeah, it's about 90 now. Yeah.
Like, so if you're offering like an enhanced like dock.
No, a separate purchasing thing. Like when you purchased the Rumble before, you remember? Did you have Nintendo systems back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so do you remember that time with the Nintendo 64 that you was able to put that extra RAM pack expansion?
Yeah, RAM
to get the
expansion. Right.
And the same thing with the controller. You was able to purchase the Rumble and slip it inside the controller in the Nintendo 64. If something along those lines were released, and they released them separately, I think it was one for the Donkey Kong and the other was for Jet Set.
You needed those to be able to run those games. I remember that.
So if they release those, at $70, $80 or whatever, not to say that they had already a dock set ready, just add it on for existing customers. How would that go? Like, how would you think the pricing would that be, and would that be something that you guys are interested in?
I mean, Losab, you want to jump in? Because I got a lot to say.
I don't want to. I think it's no.
Let it get.
Yeah, please.
I don't want them to do extra stuff like that. I feel like if you start, doing that iteration, or you can upgrade it every year, this and that, it was like, no, just. You dug your grave with the hardware schematics that you have now. You're gonna have to keep that. You have to take that out because if you start doing stuff like that, you're gonna have certain games that can only play on the docked version, certain games that can't play on it. You didn't market for anything like that.
Yeah.
No. To your point, Lord Addict, I wanted to ask you this: what about, again, you guys are the Nintendo vets? I'm new back on the scene, right? Now, was it with the DS and all that? Didn't they do iterations though that were better, like every 2 years or something like that? Wasn't
not
there like
to that point?
No, I mean the most.
But like, what was the specific job?
Well, the new Nintendo 3DS XL, the new Nintendo 3DS XL, they improved the processor. They added that C button that kind of acts like a right analog stick. But then they only announced 2 games that actually took advantage of the extra power of the system. So it was sort of, so they sort of wasted money in putting that in there and kind of didn't utilize it. So I don't think Nintendo's not about being wasteful in terms of money, in terms of putting stuff out that's a maybe. Either they do something across the board or they don't. I don't think they put money into optional upgrades. I don't think.
The question is, do you really think that was actually like wasted money? Because from when the 3DS probably came out versus what processors they could put in it for the same value and have a new way to pitch a quote new 3DS, they could probably just make themselves some money saying it's a little bit better. Some people might go buy an extra one or a new one, and they're just probably paying about the same price on something.
I mean, don't get it
about the same value.
Don't get it wrong. People will go out and upgrade just to upgrade. You could go out there and say, "Oh, we literally put like one more, anything on something." You could say, "We've made this where it lasts for 15 more minutes," and there will be people that will go out there and buy it.
You up my battery life. I'm good.
Just buy a battery pack for the Switch. You're good.
But it would be nice if the base system, would go a little further. But I'm with you, Bob.
I think at this point, yes, that sort of upgrade would make sense because we're looking at maybe a year out from when the new 3DS XL came out. So yes, but again, at that point when they released it, I believe the system was 3. Don't quote me on that. I think it was 3 when it came out. Might have been a little more. So at that point, yeah, it's not something that it's appealing to the general populace to come in and say, "Oh, it's $300 for this new version of this hardware that you kind of already have." But at this point, all we can tell you is that we have 2 games that'll take advantage of what it is. It's a tough sell. Like if they were selling that same thing today, they could probably sell it for $200, and it might make more sense. But what they're doing now is that they just kind of took the best aspects of that, put it into what they're the new 2DS whatever, and they took they kept the clamshell, got rid of the 3D, and that's going to be their final iteration of the 3DS. And
got it. No, I hear you. I mean, these are good points by the Lords. I mean, you guys all made tremendous points as far as iterations, the positives to it, the negatives to it.
And you because I almost did my classic. I have no remark for this, but when you started talking about docked and chips that increase dog power, like, nah, that can't let that go down.
Listen, I'm all for it as long as it's 2-3 years into the cycle. I think again the success is tremendous right now. There's no rush to it right now, but I do hear what the concerns of like Lord Bari was saying, because it's like obviously there are some constraints there inherently that do restrict it. So down in the future, if they want to continue with it, they may need to do that. The way I just look at it, I guess the reason why I brought this topic to the Lord is that I feel they've hit a home run from a hardware standpoint. In comparison, what Ebontis was getting at my points as far as the Vita was that one of the things that really frustrated me with the Vita was that, the lack of the dual analogs, the whole lack of the double shift buttons. Like the Switch replicates the controller perfectly.
And yeah, you can tell that when you use the Switch, it doesn't feel like you're playing a gimmick.
Right. Like it literally feels like, because that was my issue with that was my only issue with the Vita. I love the Vita. My only issue is that, okay, if I'm playing a Vita game, I don't have the bottom shifts. The analogs don't press in as a button. Now with the Switch, you allow me to detach Joy-Cons. I can give it to someone and say, hey, let's get this 2-player game on right now on the screen. Flip the back up, tabletop. I think functionality-wise, it is one of the best pieces of pure tech from a handheld standpoint. It's unmatched. So the way I look at it is, you've created a home run here. Ride this wave. Like if 3 to 4 years down the road, keep that formula, you could just enhance something. You don't really need to change the brand. And unfortunately, I'm scared that they might do that down the road and thinking Nintendo is too smart for their own good. But that's just my concerns. I wanted to bring that to the table, and I think you guys make some valid points. But if that's everybody's feedback on the video and the Switch and the success of that, we will move on to this topic that Lord King has been patiently waiting to explode on.
Yeah, I definitely want to make a remark when he's done with his opening statement.
And let him continue his statement.
He definitely wants to trip me up and knock me down and roll me in the dust.
Lord King, the round table is yours with Microsoft virtual reality, augmented reality news. What is going on?
Whoa, Microsoft is coming to the table, baby. They're bringing it this year. They're bringing their stuff up to the table. Sony had their chance last year, and Sony has done a phenomenal job. Shout out to March 16th, where they're actually bringing the must-own game for the PlayStation 4. Lord Bari, if you want to jump in here, do you know the game that's coming out for the PlayStation 4 for the VR? And do you have the VR before I just finish up with the Microsoft?
Of course, I know that Far Point
Yes,
is
sir.
on. Oh, I'm ready to go, man. I'm just waiting for my aim.
Here we go, baby.
Here we go. Woo!
Here we go, baby. Here we go. Listen, that was last year at E3. That was the longest line, and that's the only game I did not get the chance to play for the PlayStation. I know this is the Microsoft segment, but I just want to give a shout out for the people that started it first for the home console, Sony. All right, they had the foresight, they went inside, and they executed and brought a fantastic product to the masses, and I really love it. I stand behind it, and I hope everybody else in PlayStation Nation with the 60 million, buy it. Just buy it. 4 Point is the game that you need for VR for home. May 16th. Pick it up. It's in the stores. Back to Microsoft. All right, now, Microsoft is bringing their augmented reality headsets and their VR to the forefront, and I think they're doing it at a perfect time. I think they're going to team up with what was that game? It's not Far Cry. It's the game that everyone loves. Jesus, I'm so amped up right now.
So
I'm so amped up that I've been waiting for Microsoft to actually announce that they're going to do their VR, and they're doing it right, and they're going to do it at a price point that it fits every Microsoft Windows 10 game. So it's going to work with your Scorpio. It's going to work with your Xbox One. It's going to work with your Windows 10. And the VR and augmented reality that they're going for with the camera on the outside, so that you're able to use augmented reality and VR at the same time. That's unprecedented. That's fantastic. And I want to know, is anybody excited about this? Is this something that they're looking forward to as far as from Microsoft? A new way to game inside your living room?
All right.
All
right. I know this is going to sound like I'm bashing VR, but I'm not. I don't personally like VR. It's not that I don't like it. It's the fact that, like, I think it's at this point in time, it's just something I'm not interested at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that they literally, like, I really don't want them to dedicate any time at all to VR at Microsoft's conference. I feel like it'd be a mistake. I feel like they're already so far behind in you know when it comes to games and everything else. Like, the people who like VR are the minority on this one. You know, nothing against Lord King, because you know he's a huge VR dude. This dude played every VR game at E3. You know how many Lord Addicts played and Lord Cognito? 0.
Shots fired.
And saying this, and this is why they can't listen to you, because they will never innovate. You know, they're bringing their motion controllers. They're making their own motion controllers the same way that Oculus made theirs and the same way that Vive made theirs. They're bringing their own motion controllers. So that's letting you know 100% that they're taking this very seriously. They're looking for you, Addict. They want to convert you. They want you this year to take your time and try it. Just try it, baby.
It's not that I'm not willing to try it. It's not that I don't want Microsoft to bring a VR experience to their platform. It's that this particular E3, I don't want to see VR on stage.
My press conference with your VR.
Because, let's be real here. Like, you know, VR might be loved by a lot of people, but it's hated by a lot of people. And I can guarantee you the majority do not want to see anything on the Microsoft stage when it comes to VR. They're already spending a decent amount of time on hardware because of Scorpio. I don't want to see another 15, 20 minutes talking about VR shit either.
They they're not going to talk about Scorpio at the damn E3. That's what that whole press conference earlier thing.
There will be at
for you
least
to
20 minutes
Now,
dedicated
shout out to
Scorpio.
Lord Rule in the chat. To your point, Lord Attic, he was saying it's not VR, it's the augmented reality. Does that interest
Yes,
like what
sir.
they showed?
Augmented
at,
reality, VR reality. I don't
Mixed
care.
reality.
So wait a minute.
reality.
The what was it? Was it
I
last
want-
E3
you know what
when
I
they showed the Minecraft with the HoloLens
Yes.
or something? Was
Yes.
it last E3?
Yes,
Okay.
man.
So
What I
that
want
didn't
to see, what I want to
Lord Attic?
see is no reality. I don't want to see this at all.
You were in all, no reality.
Like, you know, if they want to have that on the stage and show people what's up, that's one thing. If they want to come out with, like, you know, a hardware exhibition and show what Microsoft's having, that's one thing. But this particular E3, they do not need VR on that stage at all.
Lord,
Whoa.
I just love Bari.
It's gonna be on the floor. All right, stop with your bashing of the VR. I'm really tired of it. Where every game is giving you some type of VR mode. That means that the world is asking for this. Maybe you're not asking for it, and maybe you're trying to turn a blind eye to it. But change is happening, my friend, and it's happening under your very nose. And you're gonna see on the showroom
3D
floor.
TVs went so far.
Yeah, but you know, listen, everybody has a 3D television in their house right now if they have a 4K television. All you got to do is go out and buy the glasses. Stop being cheap. That's it. Talking to the excess gamer here. Stop being cheap.
I'm very curious on his perspective on Microsoft VR, being that PlayStation has jumped into VR space first as a console. So what do you feel about these rumors?
I personally love VR. I think it's a good space for Microsoft.
Yes.
I think more people that don't like VR or doubt it is basically people that don't really like want to try it or haven't tried it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, you know, once you get in there and strap the stuff on, I think it's an experience that you're gonna love. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna love it, but majority of the people is gonna love it. And if I think VR. Yeah, it's a very slow burn as of right now, but it's only going to grow and progress. You know what I mean? So I think Microsoft definitely need to, you know, get their hands on it just so they won't be like Sony has that space all by themselves.
Right. Now, question about do you have the PSVR or have you played it or?
Yeah, I have PSVR.
Yes,
no.
baby.
All right. So what you have? Because like again, I'm kind of I totally hear where you're coming from as far as that. My question is like, what do you have you experienced like the Resident Evil? Like what are your favorite things about it right now?
The scary
basically
games,
convince me. I'm kind of like Lord Addict's camp, so you got to convince me.
The scary game. Listen, man, the scary games I personally can't do because VR is very immersive, man. Like I'm more
that Resident got you a little shook.
You know why? Because I played a demo and it was called Kitchen. I played that PlayStation Experience and I was like, oh hell no.
On a side note, I really couldn't imagine like walking into like there was one particular point in Resident Evil where you walk up these stairs and that old chick just hits you into the floor and the floor collapses. If you had a VR headset on, that might give me a heart attack.
That's hard to I scream.
It's a crazy experience, man. Like I'm more into like the actiony, you know, shooter stuff. Like I got like rigs. Rigs is my favorite thing on there.
Yeah.
Battle Zones, Eve Valkyrie, Starblood Arena.
Yes, sir.
That little Call of Duty little Jackal thing is dope. I got the Batman 2. Surprisingly, that was very, very good. It was short.
You love that, right? I love that.
I love that. And that Sony thing where they had like the 4 different games. They had the London Heist.
Sony Experience.
That was a really good one too because you was the cut. You know, like a regular cut scene, you put down your controller and you just chill, watch it. The cut scenes you were actually interacting with, like if you want to light a smoke, you're lighting the smoke when they're doing a cut scene. So it was like really dope. But yeah, I do feel Microsoft should get into it, man. But like rigs is like my favorite thing because I like the Twitch kind of stuff. I don't get seasick or whatever they call it, sick with that stuff. Like I'm in there with rigs, man. But you know what happened to that studio. But
I mean,
I know it's sad. I know.
You know, it's like I said, I'm not against VR. This particular E3, I feel like Microsoft has dug them into a certain corner that I don't think they can afford to do that. I just don't.
Listen, I think
I get where he's coming from. I get where he's coming from, though.
I think
like if they go out there
like
and they spend like 40 minutes on VR and Scorpio,
who's gonna spend 40 minutes on that? You know,
they're gonna spend at least 20 minutes on the Scorpio.
Man, this is where you and I have the problem. You and your damn times, man. You and your times. You always pointing at time. You're a time person. Every time they spend 5 minutes here.
Okay, how is it not a time issue when the conference is timed?
Yo,
like, I don't.
You know what? All right. Listen, what you need to do is you need to stop trying to dictate what Microsoft is going to do. It's like a baby.
How am I trying to dictate what Microsoft
is going to be born whether you like it or not. And it's coming.
You're jumping on that basketball court trying to get to that.
Doesn't have passion.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't say the Lords don't have passion, bro.
Listen, man, this baby's gonna be born whether you like it or not. The baby name is VR, and you're gonna see the baby. You're gonna see the baby at this year's E3. It's gonna have augmented reality, whether you like it or not. And they're gonna spend 2 minutes because since you want to be the time man. Hey, they're gonna come out and they're gonna point to you and they're gonna pull you up there. And I'm gonna make sure that they pull you up there.
I don't understand how you can spend 2 to 5 minutes and logically explain what this is. It's not even been announced. It's not even been demonstrated. They cannot spend that much.
You know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say, this is. I'm gonna give you the presentation, and don't forget VR and Microsoft's augmented reality. We have it down on the showroom floor. Check that out. Thank you. Okay, next show.
The people watching it live. The people watching it there in person. There's way more people watching it on the internet than there's people watching it in that building.
To Lord Addict's point, though, he does make a point in the sense that VR is a tough thing to advertise.
Yes, sir.
Like it's so great, right? So the experience is so immersive, and then you have a press conference where you really can't showcase it to its proper, unless you're physically part of it.
That's what Monday's for.
I hope, this is where I'm with Lord Addict on this, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to hate on VR, and I don't want to hate on AR. My whole thing is just that the way I look at it, at the end of the day, it's a peripheral. It's something you have to spend money to go get. And to me, that's when you break the base. Like, as much as I didn't like Don Matrick, and as much as the whole Xbox One fiasco, the smartest thing they did, even though the price was, ridiculous and the reveal was ridiculous for Xbox One, back then, is they packed the Kinect in the box. They forced the hand of the peripheral. You see what I'm saying? Right now, it's just like, I don't know if you're already launching a Scorpio, right? That's a new hardware. You're adding accessories. I like the fact that it's there for the people who want to do it. I just don't know if this year is the year for it to succeed, as opposed to, maybe with the next systems, and then they're kind of like packed in, like, for example, like a PS5 or, whatever the next iteration after Scorpio, whatever. Then I kind of see, like, I think you got to force that adoption rate, because developers are going to sit there and say, okay, if I put a game on this, realistically, is it gonna sell as great as this experience is? You know what I mean?
And that's where you get that whole Netflix thing, Microsoft pay-to-play thing per month, the $10 thing. Put your VR, AR games there and have
that would be smart.
Rate.
That would be smart. I like that. I'm with you on that, Lil King. If they did something like that to integrate it, like I like that the option is there. I like that they're throwing their toe in the water to say, okay, you have the ability to do this with Microsoft and Scorpio. But I have to agree with Lord Addict. If they come out and again, let's not too crazy with times, right? But if they spend some time on Scorpio, and they spend some time on on VR. That is taking time away from games. Everyone's got the gun to Phil Spencer's head. Where are your games? Right? And I don't think it would go well. I think from a PR standpoint, I don't think it would go.
I think they'd get laughed off the stage.
I think they'd be like, "Oh, you see, they're coming with gimmicks. They're coming with controllers."
Especially if you look at Sony bringing to this table. I mean, they already have a VR in point right now. They're gonna have VR there, but they have the games in the backlog that know is going to be there. So Microsoft has to come with the games, and they can't waste time on the stage.
That's the crazy part right there. There's no good day for them to bring out a VR for you. Sony's press conference, they sat there, they had to bring out the VR. They had to do it. It was not a good time for them to do it for you either. But they did it.
Well, maybe it's not a good time for VR in general right now.
No, it's a great time because Half-Life 2 VR is coming.
It's this year. They do not need to spend time on VR.
No, you know why? You know why they need to do it this year? Because this year Half-Life 2 VR is coming. And they could put that on stage, and they can tell you, for every person that wanted to cry when Shenmue came out, there's 1,000 other people that want to cry for Half-Life 2. And that's coming. VR. So when's the best time to sell it?
I feel you, Lord King, but let me throw this back at you. In the chat is going ham right now. The thing I want to throw back is that, okay, we can say the same thing for Connect in a sense. It was packed in, it was done, and people didn't really want it. They were like, "Why are you forcing this on us? Take this out of the box."
You talking about the DM years, right?
That was the issue with Connect.
The DM years.
You talk about AP now. AP years.
I don't think Connect was a bad idea, but the issue of them forcing it upon people, it was much different. When they couldn't force it upon people, it sold 13 million or 20 million, how much, whatever it sold.
No, you're right. Connect was a success. You're right. You're right. On the 360.
Look at the comment section.
Listen, it's innovative. I'm with you. I'm Lord Ruler. I'm with you. Like I said, I'm just concerned. I think this is such an important show for Microsoft. I mean, Lord Bari, you guys are out here dominating as far as the sales, as far as Sony. You know, you guys are doing your thing. You know, and you guys got the way I look at it is, as great of hardware as Microsoft has with Scorpio, and it's great, you know, with VR and all this stuff. You know, Sony's got some guns that they could throw game-wise.
The moment they drop Last of Us 2, anything Microsoft does that year is irrelevant because of the first one.
Yo, y'all gonna hate me if I talk about Microsoft.
No, go right ahead.
I just don't have the faith in them with this E3 conference. I think it's going to be a good conference, but is it going to be this mind-blowing conference that everybody wants? No,
one they need.
I think it's going to be a very, you know, that's a regular conference that they're concentrating on Scorpio.
See, I didn't even want. I wanted them to do a pre-show of the Scorpio, so they didn't have to talk about the Scorpio at E3. So they're already probably going to spend a good amount
How
of
do you know if they're not doing that, Mr. AP?
They said it. They're gonna show stuff about Scorpio at E3. What are you talking about?
Yes, they have to because they're selling it this year. But who's to say that they're not going to do a pre-show to the show? You probably get this sometime in the next couple of weeks.
They're going to do a pre-show to the show in a month. Okay, let's go.
My reason why they're going to have VR there, they're going to have some type of mention of VR due to the fact that they are announcing Scorpio and talking about it, and that's one of the selling points of Scorpio is that high quality VR or whatever they say.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You already have that in your marketing pitch. You're going to have to show it.
Thank you.
Lord Ebontis, I need you guys in this.
All right, let me speak to that. The fact that they're probably, I defer to Lord Cognito and to Lord Attic, and that I don't really think it should be on stage, but I think it will be. But I think it will be.
But it will be. Thank you. Thank you. We don't care what you want.
I think it will be in at least some small measure because
if they come out like Lord King is suggested and they say, look, you know, it's on the stage, we can't visually tell you how to experience it. It's on the
floor.
I'm okay with that, but I don't think Microsoft.
I want them to be like, yo, come check it out in booth C.
You have to remember when the Scorpio was announced. And they showed that video and that scissor reel.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 VR was touted.
Yes.
And it's still being touted. So
that's correct. Me, I heard Fallout VR is amazing. The tea leaves that I'm hearing is that Fallout VR is the killer app to make people get VR. I'm hearing it is I've got a lot of sources on this. I've heard it's absolutely spectacular. And again, Lord Ruler, I'm not doubting it. All I'm just saying is it's about time spent with this show, to Lord Bari's point, as far as what Microsoft needs to do. But Lord Sovereign, I cut you. Go back in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something that's there. You had Todd Howard on that video talking about that last year. He's still been touting it as it's coming. Obviously it's coming for Scorpio. So if it's ready to be shown, and Microsoft has already talked about these headsets, I think it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't appear at least in some form or fashion. Do I think it deserves a lot of time? I think it should be towards the end, after all the games have been talked about. And hopefully at that point, we're satiated with all the amount of games that they're talking about, hopefully. And that giving us this type of announcement is not going to make us feel that they've lessened the press conference. In terms of the tech, though, I think they're onto something here, because what they've touted now is that we're not specifically developing VR. We're not specifically developing AR. Everything is mixed reality. And these headsets that they're touting are in the $300 to $500 range, which is what you're talking about when you talk about the Vive and when you talk about the Oculus. But then these sets are supposed to be able to do both things, which is that's a big deal when you're talking about these sets. When they initially came out, they can only do one thing, and they had a limited amount of software. Where now you're talking about these headsets that can do both things for right around the same price, and then they're making improvements to the hardware. In that, when you're talking about when you look at VR right now, you talk about Vive and Oculus and PSVR. You put those headsets on, you look like you're Weapon X with like a big headset on and wires coming out all over the place. So I mean, gradually these things are being improved upon. So with these Microsoft headsets, you're looking at headsets now that don't require cameras on the outside of the headset
cameras
for tracking. So that's a big improvement in terms of hand tracking. When it comes to their touch controllers, the hand tracking is now done by your eyes. So this is another thing that's not requiring an external camera. So for VR in general, I think it's something that's positive because it's moving forward. And if they talk about it in that regard, and then, that's something that if they associate it well with what they're doing in terms of gaming in Scorpio, I think it'll be a cool message. I don't think it needs to be at the forefront, but I think it'll be definitely a cool message to kind of supplement, hopefully, all the positive things that come out of Scorpio, game-wise, hardware-wise, price-wise, whatever. But if I had my way, I probably would not put it in the press conference.
It's coming anyway.
Lord Ebontis, I am very curious about your feelings.
Man, is this a can of worms I even want to touch?
Touch it. Open Pandora's box.
Destiny 2 VR. That's all I'm saying to you, brother. Go.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, I'd be on that like white on rice, but.
Nice.
I can't imagine Trials of Osiris on VR.
Oh, see, I was like, what I would like for VR, because I played Resident Evil on VR at a friend's house. It's a really cool experience. For me, the horror doesn't bother me, actually, because I don't mind those games. I enjoy the experience. But it has those oh crap moments. But it also is really funny if somebody has a cat in the room, because if everybody else in the room is dead quiet and then a cat over here touches something, I'm like, what is that? And they're like, and they're like, dude, it's the cat. And I'm like, well, I don't know that. I'm in the game. So the idea of VR is actually really, really cool. What I'm waiting for is for at least phase 2. I want to say PSVR 2, Oculus 2, Vive 2, whatever that next complete iteration is. And if Microsoft is the first piece of that with the mixed AR, I'm literally just imagining, what if you could turn your house into like a horror game, like the augmented VR could look around your house and see, okay, here's the room, build it in the headset, and then you could walk down the stairs, see what's there. But you're looking at you're looking at the Resident Evil mansion, but you're walking around your house. If they can ever get to that level,
that would be crazy.
That would be that's the hope for VR, and obviously that's way, way, way far away. But if they're continuing to improve on it, I'd love to see it. So I was like, I'm not opposed to VR. I actually like the idea of it, and the more that they can do in it, it's just, I think right now, everything is very gimmicky. I think Resident Evil is a very cool experience. One of the longer games. I haven't looked up for Farpoint. I need to do that. But in general, what I would like to see, I mean, hey, if Microsoft touches on it, that just means one more person is on board. More people are behind the idea of VR, which means more people will start to develop, more people will work for it, more people will have the pressure between the companies to say, we have to iterate because Microsoft is. We have to work on ours, the controllers. Like I just looked up Microsoft's controller, and then they said, well, Valve is coming out with their Knuckles controller, which is going to be their new thing. So it's like everybody's working together. So it's like this is one of those times I'm not an early adopter. A console's a console. You can jump on first. Right. You're probably going to be okay. VR is a brand new thing. So I'm going to sit back for a minute, let it settle. But when it gets where it needs to be, I am 100% about it. That's
now that part I'm with you, Lord Ebontis. That's what I think. That second part, what you said, is kind of the vein I am. To me, I just look at it. It's in the infancy stage still. Yeah. And you know, again, I'm all about the development. I see what this thing can do. And again, I'm all about the development, more people getting on board. Do I want Microsoft to throw their head in? Absolutely. You know, I'm with that. I just want to see if this is the right time. That's all I'm saying. Okay, is the time right now, or should we wait a little bit? That's really all I'm saying about it. As far as everything you guys, you know, are saying, you know, and the experiences itself, I know it's tremendous. And augmented reality is something completely different. I mean, I remember, you know, Lord Ruler and I, 2015, you know, they had the Minecraft, and like the guy turned his home into a Minecraft thing, and he was, you know, creating the blocks and doing, and it looked amazing. I'm like, okay, that's something different. Yeah. I like where that's going. You're utilizing your personal environment into that, you know, and I want Scorpio to be a place where they have that option for all this stuff to be implemented. I'm all about it.
I have one bubble burster for you. I don't think Scorpio is going to be powerful enough to do true VR.
Ooh, shots fired. We'll see.
Bow.
Shots fired. We'll see.
Well,
I have no idea what's going on.
If the PlayStation is doing what the level that the PlayStation is doing, and if you could give me 2 times of what the PlayStation is doing, and you know, listen, man, I'm not even going to say that.
Okay, I guess I'm saying more.
The fidelity isn't all that. I'm with
that's you. More all I meant. So it's just the fidelity that I want. And that's what I'm waiting on that next generation. So yeah. No, I know Scorpio's going to be a beast, but I'm still looking.
Did you try the Vive?
I've actually tried them all. So they all are pretty cool. So.
Oh, okay. So you like the fidelity in the Vive, though?
Yeah, no, the Vive is actually really good. I like the crispness of that one. So, but that one's sitting there strapped to, like, you know, a 1080. So
I'll make you a deal, King. I will try VR at E3 this year.
We'll try it this year.
Like, give yourself a chance to have some fun.
Try it. We'll try it.
Thank you.
I'll try. I'm still very point where I don't want Microsoft to do it.
I tell you this though. I tell Lord Cognito he has an open invitation to my house at any time, and as
I'm coming through.
There we go. As Lord Sovereign, though, he came to the house. He saw the VR right there, and he saw the 15 to 20 games that they have there. I support these guys. If you're going to step out the box and you're going to do what you're going to do, I'm going to support you, because as an early adopter, I want to say that, yeah, I was down there ground one. I was with you guys, and I see where you made it, and I'm with you. Now, the first game that is the must-have game for this system, for that VR, I'm going to reiterate it again, is on May 16th. Please purchase. Please go out there, try. Go to the PlayStation stores, go to Best Buy, try the game. And once you try it, you need it. That's it.
Now, which game is this you say? Just to clarify?
That's the Far Point.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So that's what we got. And looks like everyone's chimed in, as long as everyone's good on Microsoft VR. We went a little bit over, but we had a lot to talk about, and great show for the Lords and everybody. The chat was lit, by the way. So I want to get these outros popping and get everyone on their way. First of all, Lord Bari, it was an absolute pleasure to have that perspective in the building. Where can the fine people find you?
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure. Thanks for the invite once again. I can see us going into like huge debates here. But now, man, you guys can find me on YouTube. It's Jay Bari. I'm a PlayStation channel, you know, but I do like to talk about other aspects, because I'm a person that do like to compare when I try to make my points. So don't bite my head off with that. But you can find me on Twitter, J_Bari YT. And yeah, man, if you guys are interested in fighting games, we run the online arcade, and we have a lot of fighting games coming up. The next upcoming online tournament is Injustice 2.
Oh,
if anybody gonna be getting that, you can definitely sign up for Injustice 2. We do have, you know,
prize. Bari, real quick, not to cut you. Is that Tekken down with that? Is that
Tekken?
I get busy.
Tekken is down for sure. We're just waiting for the game to come out. and then we're gonna set up the
But
tournament.
it's only a PlayStation thing, correct?
For now, it's a PlayStation thing, but we do like Street Fighter is crossplay with PC. The only reason why it's not really on Xbox right now, because currently I don't have an Xbox, and you know, it's just Killer Instinct on Xbox. But normally when I did have Xbox and I did issue stuff, you know, to get together to play, you know, a lot of people start running. You know
Then it with those problems.
Yeah, but I'm not even good at Killer Instinct. I just, you know, just want to play, but so I can learn. But you know, but currently right now it's for PlayStation right now. But we're looking to definitely expand in the later, you know, months or so. So
nice, man. Always a pleasure, man. It's great to have you. And yeah, I definitely want to check that channel out, especially if y'all got that Tekken going. I might dip my toe in the water. Get the rest on.
Playing very soon. It's coming out very soon. So
Lord definitely about that too as well. So that's good. That's good. Thanks, man. That's good. That's good. And Lord Ebontis, where can people find you? The newly Twitch affiliate. Lord Ebontis. Yes. Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. Oh my God. Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. It's all the same. Got lucky enough I had something unique. It's EBONTIS, Ebontis. So catch me on Twitch. I'll usually stream any of my Nightfall solos that I do if I'm crazy enough to rack my head against. But I'll also be playing Horizon on there. Gonna get back into some Zelda, some Neo, Destiny 2, whatever I'm playing. I'm just gonna be streaming it on Twitch now. So you can always find me on there, and then putting together all those videos on YouTube as well. So all the support I've had on the channel, like 7,200 subs, and still climbing. So it's pretty crazy. And so I was like, I thank everybody out there for the support. So if you want to look out there and check me out, that's where to find me.
Nice. And Lord Addict, my brother from another mother. The Addict Show. What's going on in these gaming streets? What you got cooking?
This week I should have an Addict Show on the Microsoft press conference. I'm gonna have Kid Smooth, and I don't know who the second person's gonna be yet. I'm going to be doing a Destiny 2 show, Addict Spotlight. Probably it's on the 22nd, whatever day that happens to fall on. I think we'll have another Iron Lords podcast before then, but definitely be looking out for that. And definitely remember to subscribe. You know, we do this podcast every Sunday at 1 p.m. We've been pretty consistent with the 1 p.m. here the past couple weeks. Nice. So definitely do that. You know, everyone's information is in the description. I've put Lord Ebontis, Lord Jabari's in the description, their YouTube channels. Definitely go subscribe to them. They're good content creators.
Yes.
Thank you for watching the Iron Lords podcast.
Wait, hold on. Don't let us go yet. We got some more outros.
No, that was my outro.
Oh, my bad. I thought you decided this.
Yeah, the hell with everybody else. Thank you. Bye.
my bad. That's me.
But yeah, shout out to definitely subscribe. We appreciate the likes and chats for live today. Lord Sovereign, now the newly non-Illuminati. Lord Sovereign, where can they find you?
Yeah, not find me. They can find me now. So they can find me on Xbox Live, BX Sovereign, PSN, BX Sovereign, one word, and the newly minted Twitter account at Lord Sov ILP.
Sizzling. And of course, the XS Gamer, the premium experience, has every VR imaginable. Lord, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what is that, Xbox Live, and PSN. The Xbox 360 Lover 01 on PSN, King David OTW on Xbox Live, The Real King David on Twitter, Instagram the same thing with Facebook. This has been a very great experience. I love to see more PlayStation people here. And I don't like to say PlayStation people and Xbox people, it's gamers. It's pure gamers, because if you start to listen to us talk, yeah, we're passionate about certain games, but it all comes back to games. So, you know, more gamers. That's what I want.
Respect each other's side. You know?
That's
definitely.
Right.
Yes, Lord Cognito here, and like I said, it's the ILP Non-Lord Podcast, the best podcast you've never heard. So we appreciate the chat, we appreciate the likes, you know, all the guests coming through, Lord Bari, Lord Ebontis as always. And yeah, man, we got a lot of things cooking while loving this E3 prediction series. Nintendo will be up next week. And don't forget to tune in. And like I said, just click that like, subscribe, share. And on that note, we are out. Peace.